tainted with a variety of demonic and undead magic. The boy seems to have some desire to open an infernal puzzle box, which leads me to believe that these people are either entirely sure of their abilities or entirely unaware of the dangerous items they possess. While slightly alarming, we both know that preparation is key should this develop into an issue worth quashing. Traces of illusion magic were detected near the scene by the young magus, Tillies. While he found no further clues to the origin of the illusion, he retrieved a peculiar enchanted box from the duck's innards with the help of a very bloodthirsty horse that the Lady Morloff keeps. The lady then reanimated a head that had been detached from a body by the Imperial, and the head explained that Cornelius Angling, call him the collector from which I purchased the nail of St. Celestine, had been consumed by the enormous bird. While no shards of the oath bow she seeks are at the scene, a piece of a map points to a location a few days' travel, at this point I think a few weeks' travel west. I do hope Lady Morloff finds what she desires, and I hope that Maester Cornelius also hits something I seek. If not, I may need to retrace Cornelius' steps, for our sake. We return to Salimbria, where Lady Morloff has asked me to watch over Tillies in exchange for her eye on Walter. She mentioned that Tillies had tried to kill her, just as Tillies had mentioned the night before. While I have no memory of this, both seem adamant that I was there. We returned to Lady Morloff's abode and found all manner of duck-shaped items had replaced all of the furniture and goods in the house. Lady Morloff is convinced that it is Redore's doing, but no one else seems to have any guesses as to the doer. Suberi and I ride west with these pagans. I do hope they prove my suspicions correct. I consult you through the eyes of Saint Yvonne. Shine on me through the rays of Dew's sons, my love, for I shall write you again, and the earth swallows your light. Sister Marjolaine. That's what I remember.
Can you redo the whole thing in French?
I could. I considered it, but I felt like it wasn't in the spirit of giving people a
That
recap.
would have been so Chadley. I would have given you 2 hero points.
Frankly, quash sounds like a French word anyways.
It's true. Very, very nice. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, I get hero points if I do my recap in Latin.
perhaps.
What if I do my whole recap in armpit farts?
Now you're speaking my funny
How
language.
many bitch points,
That's-
TM? How many
that's
bitch
cap.
points?
You go to the cap immediately.
Let me just...
Well, just to get us back into it, with the recent revelation that horses can only travel one, like, that's raw. I looked into it. I tried to interpret it as many ways as I could, but
Yeah,
looking
we
at
were
the
talking
actual
about it
wording,
before you got
it's
here. The way it's worded is that the only difference between over long distance between walking barefoot or on a horse is that you have to feed a horse.
yes.
That is
Like you
it.
get one
Yes.
hour of speedy travel, and then it has to go to normal, and then it has you get 1 hour benefit, and then it has the
the last hour of your trip. If you take a 7-hour trip, you can then gallop that last hour, I guess, and make that one ever so slightly shorter. But if you're on like a 7-day trip, the last 1 hour
it
is
doesn't
like
matter.
a little bit quicker.
Which isn't
That's
like
stupid.
untrue to life, because
Right.
realistically, like, humans are better at long distance travel and faster at long distance travel than horses are.
Right. It's not like a speed
but-
thing. It's just a
Wait,
comfort
wait, hold
thing,
on.
But like,
No, I do have to jump in there. Riding a horse is better long distance than walking.
Better, but not faster.
Humans trained horses.
It's not.
it's
It's
a
like
comfort thing. It's that
it's
you
it is a
will
comfort thing, but
If you are on
it's
a
absolutely
horse
not
for a
faster.
month, or you are on foot for a month, you will likely be at the same spot at the end of the month. It's just one of you will be significantly less comfortable than the other one,
Yeah.
and also more broke because you had to feed a horse.
And a horse walking along, slow.
So that is like one thing. It also kind of like defeats the basically
Defeats the
makes-
purpose of owning
defeats
mounts.
the point of actually like buying a horse.
You should only ever rent a horse
Like-
across town.
I mean,
Right.
that's why Walter had a ghost horse, but then he was bought a horse, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, upon this revelation, because the horse literally doesn't do anything but hinder us, can I have just not bought him a 75 gold horse because it doesn't do anything but just cost more money?
Oh, well, I adjusted it so it does do things.
I guess I didn't understand the new rules. It sounded like
Hmm.
you can. What do you mean by they must rest? Does that mean we must then not move for a half hour?
So here's how I've simplified it. The horses need an equivalent of 30 minutes of not galloping after an hour of galloping.
Oh, but they can still move at a normal pace.
Moving at a normal pace. So what this translates to is a slightly slower speed, essentially, if you're giving them time to not burst through. And just factoring in all the time, abstracting a little bit, the way it boils down, which, by the way, is, really I kind of like, actually, because it incentivizes different mounts with more stamina pools. In fact, I'm thinking Zach, for example, probably has like a 3 or 4 hour stamina pool before he has to worry about doing any of this. But horses must rest once per hour for quote unquote 30 minutes. What this means for travel speed is at a fast pace, if you are moving with horse rest calculated in,
So you
move
gallop
at
for an hour and then normal pace for 30 minutes and then gallop for an hour and then normal pace. Okay.
you get about 10 miles per hour compared to the walking pace of 4 miles per hour fast. So it's more than double the
that's
speed
way
of
faster
walking.
than the normal pace.
Uh,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
Never
even
mind.
with the rest, you are still faster, much
Way
faster,
faster.
than walking. Significantly,
Cool.
yeah,
Like that.
absolutely.
Doesn't really parallel real life, but I'm not playing D&D for real life.
Right. It kind of ruins the whole point of having a horse in this game. It's like, why would I ever have a horse? I should just not. Besides to pull a cart, maybe, but then I should get a bag of holding or a fucking cart.
We
or,
have Attilas.
or not
Yeah.
a cart. Again, I shouldn't get a cart. I should get a cart. Yeah, that's the big brain of Oog.
What if you want somewhere to store live things?
But the reason I mention this is because we should consider that for the travel distance, because we weren't before, so that makes it a little different. At 10 miles per hour, it's 480 miles. It's 48 hours. So there might just, if you want to play on the safe side, you could just buy like a week's extra worth of rations, and then like right now with some coins, if you wanted to, because I just to be able to say, because you guys pull right on the edge 2 weeks, and the journey time was just under 2 weeks before, so you were like right on the edge. But with the extra added travel time, it's probably gonna be like a few more days of travel. But just to kind of
rations
re-describe where we
a
are,
silver each, right?
I think it says it on the item. Maybe not. Let me check. But I think they're half a gold each. Let me check.
What?
Oh,
What are?
Yeah, they're half a gold for a day's worth of rations.
So hold on, how many
Five
rations do we need now?
Good question. I don't know the exact number, but because I don't remember we had the calculation before but this is 480 miles if you're going this way. But if you're going the road, which I think you are, which you wouldn't have to navigate, you can travel. Oh, I guess during the day. You can travel. I gotta do math. I didn't do this for the day one for some reason. Hang on. 13. No.
600
You can
miles?
You can travel.
I got a rough estimate of 600 miles to the BX, which is not, I don't think is what we had before.
Nah.
About 100 and a little less than 100 miles per day at ooh, let me make sure that's the right pace. Fast pace? Is that right? Yeah. If you're moving at a fast pace, you can cover about, we'll say 100 miles in a day with rest.
On mounts, right?
On mounts, yeah.
And each hex is 60 miles?
60.
Correct.
Alright, so it's easier just to count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 one way. $720 from Columbria. And you said we're going 100 miles a day?
100 miles a day. It's a little less than that, but I'm gonna round up to make it easier.
So it'd take.
Yeah, following the road, which is I think what we're gonna do. It's between 660 and 720, so it's like right at 700 miles a day. So it's like right at a 7-day travel to get there.
So right at the 2-week mark. That's assuming everything goes right too, which
1
up
week
to
to
you
get
how you're
there, and then
planning
1
for.
week to get back, assuming that we actually do come back here.
2 spirits have to eat.
2 spirits have to eat. Good question. No, typically.
I mean, yes, but not human food.
Mhm.
That's why offerings exist. And fear. Oh, boy, this is really the middle of nowhere, huh? You can't even get to, like...
Yeah,
Nope.
like this expanse is like miles and miles and miles of hills and grasslands and the occasional
It's-
tree.
Seems like kind of if we're not coming back to Columbria, I'm assuming that we're moving up here for whatever. I don't know, if something comes up that makes us not come back to Columbria, we go to one of these two, and this seems to be the path we would have to take.
Because Cornelius was coming from New Travis. So
Yeah,
You may end up in that direction.
yeah.
May not.
But that seems to be the total. So this is a shit. Yeah, it's like about 2 weeks. Basically, when we get there, it takes us a week to get there, and then it takes us about a week to get to anywhere
Wherever else.
Yeah.
So, so going about your, just kind of give you a little bit of narrative scene so you guys can talk it out in character here. You guys now are kind of arriving at the edge of town with all of your preparations made. You've already bought any supplies you would have needed, and if you need any more, you could retroactively buy them now, quote unquote. But you would have already bought them. So you are now at the edge of town with your supplies, with your, other preparations, discussing your travel route and your destination, kind of as you were out of character, translated to, of course, how they were talking in character. Makes sense. And that's where you're standing now, just to give you some ideas of where exactly you are.
Well, we ready to go?
Oh, I'm just figuring out my inventory. Deducting gold.
Oh
gaining
yeah, and I'm
food.
adding the second tag to my natural weapon.
See, Walter's distributing the weight in his backpack to make it more travel worthy. And Sandra's
Is before we set
staring
off,
at her weapons.
I was hoping we could do a scene from last night that we didn't really have time for
Yeah,
before.
Absolutely.
thing with Walter and Marjolaine, I think.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that needs to be resolved before we fucking walk out into the middle of nowhere.
I think that's a good idea. So, as we're
I say
walking
resolve
along,
if this is going to solve anything.
Walter is currently, reaffirming his backpack, getting his kit, last-minute soldier preparations for the road. And as that is happening, we fade away for a moment to a scene that happened just the night before. Rewinding in the dark house, I believe, because I think you guys were in the house, the duck house, as it will be named.
More duck.
You were all resting in various places, but Walter, go ahead and set the scene for whatever it is you were planning.
So, Walter is a very patient man, right? He knows how to move quickly when haste is needed, but I think as a soldier, he's very much used to sort of hurry up and wait. And so I think he has the patience to lay down and just sort of close his eyes but not fall asleep until he knows Marjolaine has gone to go to bed and has taken off her armor. Specifically because he he thinks this could end up in a fight, and he's waiting for a tactical advantage. So I think it would probably be whatever time of night Marjoline would be just sort of like getting ready, finishing up. Because she's like the next room over, right? Or like across the hall, I believe.
Yeah, up to Matt is his house. Built by the Moloffs, generation of a generation.
The thing that Tess said whenever we got back was like whenever we all arrived and it was all duck shit. She said, "Sleep wherever you want, just not my room." Because
but
the rooms from before,
layout's
but,
like the way I've been imagining it. It's up to you. You can change this at your discretion, Matt. But I imagine like there's the entry hall, there's a staircase that goes up, and then there's like a hall, almost like an upper hallway that has all the rooms attached to it for all the like sleeping quarters, for the various.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I think like guest quarters, that type of thing would be up top, but hers is definitely ground floor.
Definitely on the bottom.
Back. Like maybe it wasn't even the original. Maybe like the original master is upstairs, and she just repurposed the room in the back that was then covered with all of her like conspiracy theory bullshit and stuff everywhere. But her room is in the very back of the house, like past the living, dining, blah 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 blah. But you could see like the door to it from the front door, so it's way down there.
Gotcha. It's like an ominous boss door as soon as you walk in.
Super open concept. Upstairs, it's like strictly just a hallway, like with hotel style, like quarters.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Inside. Cool.
Absolutely.
That's what I was kind of imagining as well. So with just the two of them in the house, because I believe Tassandra is out doing Dampier things at this point in time. He's basically just laying there quiet, waiting for sort of the telltale sounds of like somebody being ready to turn in for the night. And when he's fairly certain, he is going to get up quietly and move down the hall. And as silently as he can, he's going to misty step into her closed room.
You have to see where you're stepping.
Do you?
He peeks.
Yeah. Dimension doors where you don't have to see.
Oh, I always forget that.
He peeks through the key lock, the lock key,
Well, no,
just to see a little
her
bit.
door is like locked, actually.
That's cooler if he misses in. So he peeks through the lock a little bit just to get enough vision to like see a point on the other side of the door, and almost like a cloud of shadow apparating through the door. You appear on the other side.
Yeah, like I think it's quietly open just a crack for him to. Yeah, you know, he probably would have opened it just to take a look inside to make sure he wasn't walking into somebody ready for
another
fight.
trap.
Yeah, essentially. So he's going to misty step in and standing sort of in the center of. Like I'm imagining a hotel suite with that like little hallway into that room, kind of.
Yeah, a little entryway where the bathroom would be like right here, or a closet.
Essentially, yeah. Where,
with
like,
an ironing board.
Bed, but standing in the middle of that, he's gonna say, "I have a message, Priestess."
So as you loudly do the verbal component of Misty Step, Marjolaine grabs her war club and swings around as you apparate into the room. You like always wear your Imperial shit, right? Like you have one outfit, and it's the outfit you died in.
No. So he has regular like street clothes that he wears and like traveling cloaks. Because when he battles up, he's wearing like his bloody armor. But for the sake of this, yes, he is as he misty steps in, his phantasmal armor is like wrapping around him.
Does your phantasmal armor have do you look like an Imperial kind of thing? Like it's based off Imperial armor?
It is based off Imperial armor, but it's like what you would imagine like a Roman ghost to look like silver, and it's definitely like I think linked souls, basically.
All right. Roll a coin for me. Flip a coin.
How would I do that?
/R space
DC.
DC.
A D coin.
R/D or space DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll
Yosh.
DC.
Oh, /R. Nice. That's a tails, I believe. That's right. Is
Cool. All right, so as Marjolaine sort of swings around, you deliver this message. I'm not a priestess. It's not my rank.
Don't particularly care.
I wouldn't expect you to. What do you want from me?
To make one thing very, very clear. You stabbed me in the back today.
No, that's incorrect.
You attacked me in the middle of a fight while we were allied. You do that again, and your god won't be able to stop what I'll do to you.
A ridiculous statement. Do you truly understand why I did what I did?
Understand that you're a lunatic.
I've heard that before. So you don't understand.
Understand this. This is your one warning. Do it again, and I'll make it your last attempt.
Have you ever been on the battlefield when someone was possessed?
I think everything phantasmal and spectral about him drops, and he walks forward and sticks his face directly into yours. And there's no level of like necrotic magic. There's nothing phantasmal. There's not even the slightest hint of like arcane energy or like eldritch anything coming off of him as he stares you right in the eye, and his voice comes out raw but human, and he says, "You're an idiot if you think that evil comes from beyond. People are monsters just as easily as anything else. I don't care what you believe. You have a problem with me, you do it up front to my face. You attack me on the battlefield again, and you will be at the top of my list. And when someone's on the top of my list, I make sure they don't come back." And he teleports away.
Poof.
Muted.
Which I'm sure will turn out terribly in the long run. But
And he misty steps away mysteriously to go and sleep on his
Mysteriously.
duck bed.
to go see what is in a ducky
His
bed.
duck-shaped race car bed.
well, the cool thing is, Walter doesn't
It's
have to
been
be
decapitated.
conscious to be invisible, I believe.
It's true. He can be under the blankies, and the shadows of the blankies can make him invisible under there. So when someone pulls it back, it's just nothing there.
Well, no, when they
That'd be
pull
a
it
good
back,
trick.
the shadows go away.
That's true. The safety
shit.
blanket.
So just a Walter-shaped lump in the covers. But if you were to get under the covers, you would see
You would
there's,
see
in fact,
nothing.
no Walter.
That's actually really good. Well, you guys, see, everyone returned back, into their preparations. The conversations have had, the expectations of travel have been set, and, well, now it's up to you. If you're ready to begin the journey.
So, I'm unclear. Do I still have the gifted horse or no?
Yeah, because it sounds like horses were not
Or does it still do
Are
something?
useful now.
detrimental. Yeah.
Yeah. They serve
So
a
yeah,
purpose.
you absolutely still have your horse. New horse. Horse 2.
Horse 2.
Emergency food supply.
Though, like, with how wizards treated mounts in those rules, I get now why Phantom Steed's only an hour. They only think horses are only going to be
used
played
for
for
an
an hour. Yeah, and that's it.
Need them an hour at a time.
Honestly, maybe we adjust Phantom Steed at some point.
It also makes it makes it kind of dumb that it includes in the spell the spell's description that like this horse doesn't get tired, but it's like horses don't get tired in the span of an hour.
It's
no
not
matter
8 to
what
10
you do,
miles,
It
like it
doesn't get
says.
tired in the span of an hour. It gets tired the moment after an hour, but that's also
Yeah.
when the spell runs out. So it seems kind of redundant.
Yeah, very redundant.
I feel like wizards and mounts. It's just like a very weird.
They hate mounts. They hate mounted combat. They hate mounted travel. They just don't want you to have a mount. I don't know. It's
They
weird.
just want you to have a
in
card.
consideration as it.
It's very strange. But anyways,
Because I think the issue is that it's built to be a ritual spell, but then they gave it to a class that doesn't have rituals.
it's pretty
like-
good.
You could have ritual.
You could by being a very specific warlock.
There's a feat. There's
Feat.
a whole pact.
Oh, you could do the magic initiate feat. That lets you do a ritual,
Ritual
don't it?
caster.
You mean ritual?
Ritual
casting?
caster lets you do it, don't it? You know, I don't play. I'm not a player. I don't get to choose
One
feat.
day.
One
Yeah,
day I'll get a
I've considered picking that up.
Mhm.
Come time. It just didn't make sense for the build at start.
Yeah, for sure.
So, edge of town. Any final preparations to make, or start journey, or just hanging out at the edge of town like a bunch of drifters, a bunch of cool kids leaning against the post at the edge of town,
smoking
It
a
feels
just
so
cigarette
staring
good
at the
I
new people
don't
coming in.
Don't remember what Tess did.
Huh?
I actually don't remember what Tess did. She got frustrated with the duck house and like decided that she can't sleep there and left. And I feel like I said she was doing something, but I don't remember what it was.
You destroyed your cult.
Yeah.
She
went back to
poisoned
her
a bunch
thing,
of
but
things.
I don't think she went back home. Like it was like what did she do after
We
she,
got past
did the
like the
walk away?
night of rest. We did a bunch of stuff in the morning already, which you did the poisoning in the wee hours, but then we did the shopping and preparations after. So at some point we established where you went to sleep. But you can be up to you where you wanted it to be. You did find somewhere to rest,
Yeah.
perhaps in an abandoned bell tower somewhere, like some
Maybe
sort of
who
Morbius.
knows? It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
She slept
She's
She
so
slept in a mine.
mysterious. She's so mysterious.
Mine.
Matt doesn't even know what the fuck she's doing. She's just so cool.
It's true.
Isn't my character cool?
She's
Tell me
so
she's
stealthy,
cool.
not even you know where she was. She could have been under the dock, like a hobo. In
As
fact,
hobos do.
she could have been sticking to the bottom of the dock, just sleeping. That's fun.
Oh yeah, I don't think I have to be conscious to actually adhere to stuff. I can actually sleep like a bat.
Like a bat. I think that's the intention. It's the whole point of the ability. It's the only reason you
It's
have
the
it.
whole point of the character, frankly.
Really?
We've assembled 2 of the 4 horsemen of not having to be conscious. I don't have to be conscious to be invisible. You don't have to be
Yeah.
conscious to stick to things.
To stick to things.
Until
Honestly,
it's
I
not
just
conscious to
only want to play
ride.
characters that stick to things. I don't know when I'm going to play a character that doesn't have a climb speed, but it won't be anytime soon.
Frog.
Frog
Frog
sticky
has climb speed.
Only play sticky things.
It's true. So, Sticky Boys.
Yeah. Tillis was at Redore's tower, actually, right?
Yeah, that's why I was.
But no longer.
Tillis is at the main gate, chilling, looking super cool, super fly. He's got long gloves on his hands.
I don't want to take up
Mhm.
too much time, but could we have a bit of a thing of, because I don't know where Tess stayed overnight, of Tess is out front of Redore's tower,
Waiting.
like when Tillis is leaving. Yeah, like she's right there.
Yeah. So as the gates, actually, just for fun, make a stealth check and tell us what's your passive perception.
She's not trying to be sneaky. She's like,
Oh, then if you're
standing
just
in front of
standing
the door.
there,
Yeah,
then you
she's
see,
standing at the door.
If you, well, tell me this. So when you came to the just kind of going over to Celembria here, the Celembria map here. When you came to the edge of the Tower of Rodore and got to the gates where previously, the metal gates that opened for you when Tellus was there. These gates got to them. They didn't open. Did you try to go further, or would you wait at the outer gates of like right around here, hereabouts, or thereabouts?
No, she would. If one were to be seeking audience with Rodore, it would be outside this gate, right? I guess how would one seek an audience with Rodore? How would you talk to him?
Rodore would know you. Like, if he wanted to talk to you, he would know ahead of time, and you would be like allowed entry into this gateway. Like it would open automatically for you if you were supposed to be here effectively.
Then yeah, she would be waiting at the gate.
Gotcha.
And Till's probably like going towards the gate at a sprint on his lion.
And then before he gets all the way there, he's like, "No, I'm gonna go to the other gate," and then he runs that way, and then doesn't even see you.
Go see the water.
You run around, quick, and then there's like silly cartoon running around chasing. No, you're ruining my reveal.
Yeah, he probably. I assume the gates open as he's approaching, and he'll be like going really fast out the gate, but then he'll see you and like kind of stop the lion at a halt and be like, "Hey, Tess."
Hello, Tillus.
What are you doing here?
I wish to speak to Rodore.
He's not in. He went on a trip.
What do you mean he's not in?
He's not here.
What trip?
The fairy dragon said something about it last night.
She's like trying to look past Tillus into the courtyard or something. Anything duck-like?
Make a perception
Anything that
check.
could possibly even be misconstrued as
Misconstrued as a duck. Yeah, make a
Is there a
perception check.
pond with a duck in it? Genuine question.
There is. We'll make a perception check first, but what you do see, actually pretty well. One, I mean, like, look at just here. I mean, if you really wanted to think about it, what is this?
What is that? But a duck with
But a giant
with a nose
duck.
ring.
But a giant duck, like a hedgery. Nothing that's striking you as specifically duck related, but you notice actually a specific lack of animals in the center fountain. Like it is perfectly pure, pinkish colored water. No animals or creatures floating around in it. And Tillus, this fountain is it tastes like whatever you want when you drink from it.
Wow.
Wow. It also gives you a terrible diarrhea.
Okay, that's probably why he didn't tell them when we came in here the first time.
Yeah, it sits outside. It doesn't have like a disinfecting way of doing it because,
It's a good bit
Okay,
because
I
everyone
feel
wants.
like I found my duck adjacency. Is this particular head?
Yeah, it's that one right there. That's the one. It's the mega duck even. Could be.
What if
That's
someone
really
Did
just
I
dropped-
say
one-
anything to you about me after the event?
We didn't speak at all. He left immediately.
He hasn't spoken to you since? No?
Just through
Letters, magical messages, any other ways he can get into your head?
Not so far. The fairy dragon's the only one that's communicated with me.
Mm-hmm. So he's not here, but you can just come and go freely?
Tillis is gonna look back at the gate and be like, "Yeah,
Would I be able to accompany you?
does Tillis know of what the protocol for this would be?"
The tower
I mean, he did
defends
let
itself. It doesn't
Yeah,
let
he
it
did
doesn't
bring in
let
a guest
people that
before.
Rodore doesn't want in there. So Rodore has no reason to like inform you of this, besides the fact that like the tower lets people go where they should be able to go.
Okay. Just going from last time, Tillis didn't know that if you fought against the cleanser thing, that it would hurt you. Is it worth assuming that there may be many other
It's
things like
very possible there are other defense mechanisms to keep people out of the tower besides just not letting you go places.
Yeah, if you want to come in, you certainly can. I'd be happy to accompany you, but I don't know if there's going to be more things like the cleaning room.
I assume unless you wanted a pile of guest corpses, not all of them. Rack your brain like that one, so now I know what's coming.
Well,
That part shouldn't be a problem.
do the others know we're putting off our start?
No, but they'll wait,
Okay.
as employees do.
Tillis will lead her in.
She wants to go into the tower.
Okay. So, walking back up to the stone steps, back to the entrance, you see the door once more here. And allow entry back to that similar decontamination room, which you go through the similar process. If you don't resist, Sandra, your abilities get deactivated, but you don't get hurt.
Question, this magical deactivation thing, what all is affected?
Any magic-like ability, so any like feature that is inherently magical by nature, if it uses magic, it doesn't work anymore.
Okay. Cool. But Marjolaine was able to do something magical, but it seemed related to her god.
It seemed to be something that's why drove so much interest from Redore to her, is the fact that she could do anything magical. Even clerical abilities are tapped and drawn away usually in this kind of situation with this ability.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, she'll, whatever this process is, she's going to submit to all of it.
And just to say, I think Tillis pretty much is always walking while in here. LeBout was outside.
The mount, as the process finishes, and the light clears, a door begins to open, but before it fully opens, a smaller hatch door on the door opens when the fairy dragon flies through. And says, Master Tillis, I see you have brought a guest. You wouldn't mind, of course, if I accompany you as a silent companion to aid you in anything you might require.
Tillis is gonna look at Tess, but he's gonna immediately kind of turn to the fairy dragon like, yeah, that'll be fine.
He nods. Lands on your shoulder. Opposite of Owl. Well, if Owl's even in here. I don't know if you have him out.
No, it's probably gone for right now until they're getting out.
Until he needs an owl feather.
But yeah, Tillis will probably show Tess around the places that he most frequents, like the danger room and any like main study that he might be using for his homework.
Yeah, you're allowed to go to within the danger room, and you're even allowed to set it up and like show off like its holodeck-like features to some degree. You're not allowed full control over it to the degree that Redore has, but you are allowed to do some basic like simulation programs and stuff like that for entertainment / study / practice, etc. You also are able to go to your study. No issues there.
To Tillis' study?
Tillis' study, like his room, his office, his room, which also has a study attached to it.
Great. Tess is gonna walk in like she owns the place and go straight to the bookshelf and just like peruse spines. What type of drivel has he been drip feeding you?
Also,
What's the first book that she finds on your bookshelf, Tiddies?
well, before we get to that, I think as soon as she walks in, Tillis is like immediately like eyeing the window, because I'm sure he has thought sometimes about Tess just standing outside his window looking in at nights, and now he's like, fuck, she knows what floor I'm on. She knows what room I'm in.
I don't know if we've ever done it. So have we? I don't think we've described Tillis's chambers here. So why don't you bring us through what Tillis's room looks like here?
Tillis's room here is probably, his desk is very dirty. It's covered in lots of different sheets of paper and ink, and I'm sure some has spilt, so there's probably ink stains on the ground and on his desk in places. It looks like he has spent a lot of time sleeping in that chair, even less so than the bed. He just kind of passes out because it gets too late. So there's like a lot of mostly burnt down candles. And then on the walls and things, he doesn't have much, but he tries to keep it clean. And I think he's like almost even trying to build a replica of Wintermill as he remembered it. So, but it like clearly some buildings look weirdly designed. If you have any knowledge of how a city is designed, you know it's wrong, but he's just trying to piece it together from memory. So yeah, a lot of his work and a lot of his things he's working on in the meantime.
Finally,
Sure.
as you go over to the bookshelf and start perusing, what's the first tome she sees?
It would probably be Sir Summerblight, the Beastmaster. That would probably be one of the books on his shelves. The Tale of Sir Summerblight.
I think she like is perusing, stops at that one, pauses a moment, and then keeps going.
Just triggered. Just sees the word Beastmaster on the title and just
bringing him back. In these
It's a mix.
circumstances.
It's a mix of like sciencey and magic-y books, and then there's almost like comics. Like you might see his manga shelf of Shonen Jumps and his Marvel comic books, and you'll probably see like at least a couple Red Shadows.
First edition. Whoa.
So just magic and stories, huh?
Oh, there are probably a lot of history books too on the rise of the Imperium, and probably a few books about the differences in the races from a certain bend, and maybe even a very human positive book.
Any
Jordan
books about
Peterson.
Wintermill?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, then yeah, just because she's malicious, she's gonna take that book in particular, whichever one. I don't know if there's more than one, it's whichever one that says Wintermill in the biggest font. And she's going to go to where your little like Wintermill
It might
mock-up
even be
thing
like,
is.
What we know about Wintermill or something, just like any of the reports on what happened would probably even
Sure.
be that book.
And then she's going to kind of like walk over to where your little replica thing is and like wave you over. I think there's a lesson here, Tillis.
Okay, he'll do his little hobble over.
And when he gets there, she's going to hold the book out so that like to hand it over, and then move one of those candles like in it so that it looks like a melted building, and then hand you the book and say, in case you've forgotten, I believe this model is inaccurate.
Thank you.
Of course, I wouldn't want you to make any mistakes.
Of course not.
Things
Also
like
find a
this,
dragon figurine
like
to
this
put on it.
town, are what happen when people make poor mistakes. Right. Now, who made the mistake is a little up for debate. Did the town do something to someone that they shouldn't? And was that their mistake? Or was the town perhaps innocent bystanders that were caught in something? Maybe another power attacked someplace they shouldn't have, and it was a mistake on their part.
Is there anything else you'd like to see on your tour?
And then she like looks back over at the bookshelf, like eyes down to the history. Well, I don't suppose you could take me into Adore's study, so I think that'll do it.
Let's hit the road.
You might want to bring that book, brush up on your history. It seems you've forgotten.
Yeah, he'll put it in his pocket.
People tend to forget important things of the span of a few short years.
It's good to keep an eye on what's important.
is. And to remember who is important. The people of Wintermill, for example.
Did you
The
happen to
people
bring Zach?
of our
I
past
didn't
are who
see him
mold
with you.
us. Yep. But fine, we can go.
And as soon as he gets to his lion, he's going to escort Tess out. And when they get to the gate and the gate closes, he is just gonna like be like, "See you there," and he's gonna sprint off.
Yeah, she'll get up on Zach.
Yeah.
And she'll leisurely go to make them wait.
Mhm. So, it takes some time. Marjolaine and Walter, you two are at the meeting point at the edge of town, and eventually see Tillis sprinting up on his magnificent white lion.
I like to imagine the atmosphere is the most awkward imaginable. Like if there's a fountain or
Between
something.
Walter and Marjolaine just standing there.
Yeah, like Walter's on one side, Marjolaine's on the other, like the exact farthest two people can stand and still technically be in the same
Considered a
general
group.
location.
Yeah.
Not to further delay our departure, but I feel as if, Walter and Marjolaine end up at the gate at a somewhat similar time with no one around.
Mhm.
Marjolaine just sort of edges her horse closer. Says, "Good morning, Walter."
I do just want to set the scene of Walter definitely got there first. Like you probably left similar times. He definitely got there first, and by the time you'd arrived, he definitely had like breakfast food from a stall,
Mhm.
just like a basket of food.
Good morning, Walter.
He's gonna very awkwardly hold out a basket that's got like half like breakfast meats on sticks, and the other half is like breakfast pastries.
That's kind of you to share. Thank you. She'll take a couple bits out of the basket.
Dumps the food out. Starts gnawing on the basket.
Delicious.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
I like that. She like unweaves it and like tries to like slurp it up like spaghetti, like the strand, and just
Says some do prayer in French.
and then it starts unraveling. That'd be cute.
Did Morloft ever come back last night?
If she did, I didn't notice.
I don't think she did.
I'm sure she'll be here. She seemed rather interested in the oath bow. But I did have something I wanted to mention before you so quickly departed yesterday. You mentioned that you don't believe in otherworldly beings.
I didn't say that. I just said evil can come from people just as easily, if not more.
That's fair. There is evil out there. Just a short reminder that sometimes I forget things. Sometimes I forget important things. There is a giant rift out in the Imperium that is spawning fiends. It's not unreasonable to think that they could be anywhere. I have
Interesting question, Oog. Just you bring that up, and I really need to know this before you finish that sentence because it may change how he reacts to that sentence. Walter was on a mission with like limited contact, then died and spent a couple of months like slowly making his way back on foot in the wilderness. Does he know about the fucking world rift?
Though, this is how you could determine it. The world wound was opened 2 years ago, more or less.
2 years.
So up
He's
to
not been
you.
dead that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would know about
I
it.
just had the realization that if that was like within the last year, it's very possible that this
You
sentence
might just missed it.
when he learns about the world wound.
Yeah.
It's not exactly in New York Times to fill you in.
And you're
Oh.
currently
They didn't
like
talk about it on Oprah, so I didn't know.
almost 1,500 miles away from
wish
it.
that I almost really wish that I had made that timeline a little larger, just for the moment of.
Alright.
There's the world wound, right? I'm sorry. There's the what?
The what now? You will.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Kay.
No, that's okay.
I really needed to know that before I reacted.
The suspicion of demonic possession is not reasonable. It's a precaution. It's good to be prepared.
I don't think demons possess people. That's ghosts, right? Demons have bodies.
Sure. Demons have many abilities.
Yeah, but I don't think possession is one of them. Disguise,
clear.
maybe, but
Out of
I
fighting
don't.
fiends.
Are fiends the same thing as demons specifically, or are they? Is it like a square rectangle situation?
Some demons are fiends. Very much square rectangle. But they can also break out of that rectangle and into another rectangle.
I'm confused. So fiends are the rectangle in this metaphor.
Most fiends are
Demons
not
are
rectangular.
square, and there's what an octagon that a demon can become.
This last little bit is where Tillis would have been writing up, and you probably caught that last little bit of that conversation, Tillis.
Wait, what's the argument?
It's less of an argument and more like Walter knows how to kill stuff, but Marjolaine has just told him that he has very limited understanding of the infernal planes, and I think he's now trying to have a basic demonic geometry lesson.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just Dills didn't hear everything.
Oh, all right, kid, be a tiebreaker for this. So, if fiends are rectangles and demons are a square, what's the other thing?
What?
A parallelogram.
Demons don't possess things, right? Demons have their own body, right?
I didn't get possessed. I don't think anyone did.
Yeah. See, that's
But
Wait,
I've
hold
only
on.
seen a couple demons. Oh wait, no. There was one time in a mansion. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know what was going on. We kind of didn't really look that hard into it. But I'm gonna say it's kind of in the air. But it's possible that a demon could possess someone.
I mean, if you're in a mansion, that sounds more like a ghost than a demon.
Yeah, you would think. It wasn't.
Ghost of a bird, perhaps.
That's where I got this feather. From Beakers. Anyway, Tess should be coming soon.
You see, you see Tess way off, y'all slowly striding forth on Zach. Doosh, doosh. I imagine Zach's almost kind of just a little, can't pick up on the energy, almost like doing the Tennessee Walker like walk, where they like pull their legs up, kind of very
Prancing.
deliberately, yeah, very prancing, very forth, yeah, as he's slowly walking through town.
As we just watch this happen, Walter slowly slides the basket of breakfast underneath Tilly's, just like in front of him.
I don't think you want to. Okay, you're gonna put that under there. Prestidigitation. I don't know the last time I did
It's
that.
like the Monty Python Lancelot when he's like running up over the hill, and it keeps cutting back to the same footage of him running over the same hill. It's like that with the Sandra and the horse. Like every time you look back, she looks the same distance as she was
Oh,
away.
Lord, she's coming.
Just very slowly.
You don't want breakfast.
Oh no, I'll take some. Just don't put it under me.
I meant more like he was just like
Oh,
passing the
breakfast.
basket in front
Thank
of
you.
you.
It's trying to wipe your ass with it and then feed it to you. I smell a poopy.
That's what Sandra says as she walks up.
She's like having a conversation with herself as if it was like, you know, Tullis, you smell quite well. I made a poopy to Sandra. If only I had a child. How differently you would have turned out.
Walter's gonna slow blink and then like rotate the basket to like stomach friendly options as he presents it to Sandra.
Oh, sure. She'll take like, I don't know, one of the pastries, whichever pastry is the most colorful.
It's a raspberry crown.
Oh, it's a raspberry crown thing. She like eats it. There's like some raspberry juice coming out of the corner of her mouth. You're like, that looks kind of like a vampire. So she'll
Weird.
clean that up.
It's like dripping off of an unusually sharp fang. Weird.
Ominous looking scene. Definitely not blood. Definitely raspberry jam starting to like dribble down the side of her mouth, and then she'll fix it. That's quite good. I could get used to that.
Walter definitely still has like half a basket of food remaining, and he just kind of looks at him like, I thought everyone would eat more. Guess I'm gonna eat all of this myself.
Zach kind of starts coming over and sniffing at the meats.
Oh, he had a skewer of just raw meat prepared for Zach.
He takes it like gently, like a very nice puppy, and then he takes it like grabs it this way, and then he moves it over, drops it on the ground, and starts pulverizing it with his hooves, and then eats it wood and all. The skewer goes down with it.
The wood?
Yeah, the wood gets splintered in there with the stomps, and he just swallows it all.
The longer you're with us, the more you'll realize how few fucks Zach gives when it comes to meat paste.
I guess the wood is roughage.
It's organic.
Fiber.
I mean,
We'll
I'm
use a little
ready.
bit more fiber on our diets. Right to this.
I guess, yeah.
Does he
It was a
have?
poopy joke.
I know.
There's that 20 charisma wit. Nah.
Oh, sorry. Allow me to smoke my pipe weed to bump that a little bit more so my joke lands.
Well, it's always a minimum 19, so it's just like every single time it's just the most eloquent poop joke.
I learned it in college.
This is the peak of humor.
The peak of the College of Eloquence.
Poop joke. Kings
Oh.
love it.
Everyone
Sounds
knows
like
that the
it's wasted.
greatest forms of comedy are crude jokes and racism.
I agree
I'm a
with
master
all
of
Both of
them
those.
both.
It's the moral
Very-
off school of comedy.
That's all those comedy schools teach in Ovest. You're exactly right. Shall we depart?
Racism, some racism. Anyways, we have a bastard absconding with my shard of a bow to catch him and interrogate.
So, you start to head on your journey. Following the road.
Sorry, Mike.
See that the two of you have made up to some degree after that whole debacle with the duck.
Did you know that Walter was unaware of demonic possession?
Walter rolls his eyes, but you realize that at first he just tried to roll the eye that was under the eye patch, and then realized that you can't see that, and had to roll the other one.
But it's implied that he has independent control of rolling each eye individually.
I think
It's
we
very
established that when like a soul escaped from the eye socket, right? I think when he shot a beam out of his right eye, I think we established that there's a little more
Canon
control.
that
there.
he's a chameleon.
He is. Can just
Evil
look all around.
chameleon.
It's good passive
Now,
perception.
somehow I doubt that Walter wasn't aware of a possession. I mean, I don't know his history, but something tells me
mean-
that he's familiar with it.
It takes some time, and as you're walking down the path, it's around 7 o'clock. You guys have like been wandering out of town. You have now long cleared any signs of villages, towns, or like any like surrounding settlements. Like the last building you saw was like 50 miles ago, or like probably like 30 miles ago. You're wandering along. It's starting to get late, and you see in the road this lumbering, cloaked figure. It's stocky, tall, but probably about tall as really is about as tall as fucking Marjolaine over there, honestly. It's just lumbering back and forth.
Like
And how-
walking down the trail
Yeah, walking towards Slimbria.
in place. Okay.
You're gonna pass him on the road here soon.
How tall is Marjorie?
How tall is
Uh,
Marjolaine?
7 foot something.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about right.
Hail
Does this figure
traveler.
look armed?
It looks up, and as the creature looks up, you see the hood fall back, and you see before you,
God damn it.
it looks like an Ogrelon with no arms.
Whoa.
Now, this is a Guz.
Mhm.
It's not the Guz, but
Of course.
I've decided to make K play every Guz that comes up in the game. So, this just Guz whatever
Okay
you
with
want it to be,
yourself.
K.
Oh, hey,
Oh, hey there.
is this Simba? City Simba?
So,
Yes.
Lembria?
That's what I said.
It is.
It's
and
about
it
30
is.
miles that way. It's about 4 sevens that way.
Actions.
Okay.
Instantly clicks.
Yeah, 4 sevens. Yeah. You got any like arms? Maybe.
Like weaponry or replacements for your lacking
Yeah,
arms?
Like the ones that would go. Any points at this time? Right there.
Just like you see, like right here, as he like kind of shows it, the arm like sockets are completely like blackened, almost like they were burnt or blown off by some sort of explosive force.
Afraid no on the arms.
Huh.
There were some arms the other day, up a little ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Ah.
Humi arm.
oh, small. It's not
Um,
big.
What do you call them? Thin bone arms.
It's also big
Okay.
duck foot.
That's like an arm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's big duck wings too.
It's interesting. You
Nice.
notice like
Gonna go
Despite-
fingers.
this is clearly a Guzruk of some sort of Ogrelon. You look at him. He's not wearing a lot. He's got the clothes, he's got the hood, he's got the tattered outfit, and no arms. But he is wearing a satchel, and from that satchel there is seemingly just like piles of shining silver coins, as well as like some other like bits of treasure sticking out. Not so nonchalant, like not very obviously, very blatant, like how these coins are traveled. It's strange how this individual has been robbed. But then you're like, well, it is an Ogrelon, and you kind of examine him a little bit, and his feet are quite stained with blood, dried blood. Looks like he's done a lot of kicking.
Curious, you're carrying a satchel, yet have no arms with which to manipulate it. It's... Judging based off your feet, it seems that you've had some less than savory encounters. Are you alright?
I mean, I lost my arms. Pretty bad. Really hard to drink with your feet. But I did find a bag full of this stuff. And I like wriggled it on. Surprisingly easy.
I just imagine this like armless caterpillar like guy just getting under a bag and just scooping it over his neck.
Does everything about like is this Guz wearing Imperium clothing? Do the coins look Imperium?
No, it actually looks very reminiscent of the initial outfit you saw Guz in when you first got him. Guz might have changed outfits after he started traveling with you, might not have. But base Guz looked very similar, like pieces of equipment. The only thing different here is that this one's wearing a cloak, and this cloak looks like it is a tattered sail or, tarp covering that has just been thrown over himself and tied together.
Is there a symbol on the sail?
On the one now?
Is there a symbol on the sail? Any sort of like?
Oh no, it's
iconography?
just decorative. It's like pattern.
Well, I
Right,
mean,
well-
I've got coins and Duckfoot has like fingers, so just pay someone to like put it on me.
Rather than going through with this duck business, I think that you would be well served if you to continue about 30 miles that way to Celembria. If you go around to the water side of things, there's a bit of a beach that leads inwards to the town, and on that beach, there's a bungalow. I believe, if you're lucky,
What's-
you'll find
what's
another
bungalow?
one of your people that you'll know it when you see it. It will just scream bungalow.
All right, I'll
Whatever
listen
you
for it
imagine a
then.
bungalow to be, it's likely this because it was made by one of your people. So,
Oh no, the Guz.
yes, another Guz. A very good Guz. One that I owe a bit of a life debt to. So, if you take you and your bag and your cloak to that side of the city, I don't believe anyone will mess with you on account of him being there. And when you find him, he will get you sorted.
All right. It's like 4 sevens.
Right,
Yeah.
just a little more than 4 sevens in that way. Right.
Can you just take the plug out of my water skin? It's really hard to do.
Sure. Tills will send his owl over to do that.
Oh. Thanks, bird.
What'd the bird do? I missed that last bit.
Uncorked his water skin.
Gotcha. Yeah.
If you're hungry, this is gonna go bad anyway. I can just sort of like tip this basket like into your mouth.
Yeah,
I don't
perfect.
know.
Yeah.
He actually, the basket has like a handle, so you can like put it over his head like a feeding trowel, like for a horse, or like a feeding mask. And he just
Master,
feed
you'll
your face
just,
in.
like- I can like hang it over you or just like tip it in your
Yeah,
choice.
just tip it. It's easy.
Till- I could have just done that. Okay.
And then the Guz will sit down in the middle of the road and grab his water skin with his foot and just sort of dump it in.
Surprisingly limber. He can actually like it's almost like a yoga pose with his foot. Just
All the Guz people took up yoga immediately.
yeah, that was the first thing they did.
Well, I got 4 sevens to go. That's like, I don't know, it's a lot of sevens a minute.
It's at least another day.
Okay, that's like
But,
less than
you
7.
are almost
That's
there,
good.
so
Is there?
if you
Well-
hurry, you might be able to make it. You're less weighed down than you would normally be on account of missing both arms.
Yeah, well, I'll just find some other ones. I don't know why you say it like that.
Right.
Oh, thin bone. You know, I lost my arm, can't find another one. Yeah,
My arms aren't so easily replaced.
I heard that before. Yeah,
Most have.
yeah
Wait.
whatever.
You can just like stick anything on that and it'll work.
You don't know how arms work.
Mine definitely do not work that way.
Yeah, well,
Like
you're
that.
thin bone. You're all whatever.
See him
You know,
tries to
you
get
have
up.
You have those 4 sevens to go.
He just
gonna
fucking like
pull up her
rolls and
bag.
like
She has she's gonna pull out of her little messenger bag satchel thing a obviously very old, probably around about 3 years or so, probably dried out but decently preserved, large hyena ear, and it's going to like stuff it into like the little corner of the bag. So once you meet the other Gazrak at the bungalow, give him that, and then he'll take care of you, perhaps more than before. Might
You're
even get you new
showing
arms.
this goblinoid so much charity. But not sure why.
It's a story that you haven't earned yet.
They're lesser beings. They're not worth your time. It's so
It's a
odd
story
to
you
me.
are getting farther and farther away from hearing.
Hey, priestess, I don't want to like step on any toes here, but he has a lot of blood on his feet, and I'd rather not learn exactly how he managed that. So, if you wanted to keep the racism until he was out of earshot, that would be great.
You're a very strange Imperial,
I mean, he probably just kicked him.
but
pretty
I
hard.
accept.
He'd likely
Zach's just
bludgeon
like
several
staring
people
at
to
his
death.
feet, staring at the Ogrelon's feet, and looking at his hooves, and just kind of gives a nod of approval.
Shut
You
up,
always did
horse.
like Gazrux, didn't you?
Heard that our horse is bad. Worse than thin bones.
Yes, well, this is not a thin bone horse.
Yeah, well, if I find this other Guz, if I hear bungalow, I'll give it to the bungalow.
Yeah.
Like you
Do
said.
that.
Just like you said. Well, I've got 7s to go. I'm gonna
Makes
hit the
sense.
old trail.
You have a couple of 7s.
And as he's starting to walk away, you see he doesn't notice, but a rock kind of steps on his path, and it makes him step a little higher, and makes him jostle. And a ding, 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 ding. Doesn't notice it as he wanders off. A golden chalice encrusted with jewels falls off on the ground behind him as he wanders off.
Bird.
Most likely a thief.
I mean, that's cursed, right? We shouldn't pick that up.
I'm already so cursed, it really doesn't matter.
Can't get worse.
It is possible to remove curses from it.
Hold on, kid. Is there a level of cursed where it no longer matters? Is there a point where the curses start to cancel out?
Yeah,
That
well,
does
right,
become a point that when you have so many, what's one more on the
Yeah.
pile?
and right now, everyone that's cursing me seems okay.
Think of it as your first kill versus your 100th. At some point, they just become a number.
And then it just, as the bird flies over, he just holds up his handy haversack and it falls in. Didn't even have to touch it. Yeah.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Probably
But
clean it
whenever
first.
we come back, we can just return that to him. It's what Guz would want.
I mean, Marjolaine is right.
Also, Marjolaine, I'm giving you a inspiration there for Guzzin.
Also, if you wish to keep your tongue, keep your words of the Guzrux to yourself. I don't know of all of them, but the one that I do know is better than you or I, or anyone here.
I find that difficult to believe, but
So did I.
I understand if that's your wish.
I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong or right, but I feel like you're making a lot of assumptions on people that you met less than like 3 days ago, essentially.
Me?
No, more loft.
I mean, it's pretty safe.
Maybe she's known you longer, but
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
you said better than anyone here.
Right. I don't need to know you for longer than an hour to know that he's better than you. It's
He's
not
just
that I don't know
instructional.
you, it's that you don't know him. There's levels of people. He's just one greater than us.
You almost died to a duck. You wouldn't have done that.
You would have never fallen to the duck. Least of all, be thrown to the ground by a friend.
He would have been the one throwing.
And he would have never done it to a friend. So,
Or a
my
goblin.
point stands. Were he in either of your shoes, he would have done it better.
There, you stood where you stood.
Those are his boots to fill, not yours.
Perhaps
His-
it's because
Open-toed sandals.
Maybe
His foot
one of these
wraps.
you'll be lucky enough to meet him.
perhaps
maybe
it's
then you'll
because of
understand.
your partial human heritage that you feel such a kinship. I can understand that.
Sure. If you would have compared me to a Gazrak 3 years ago, it would have sent this conversation in a very different direction, but I'll take the comparison to him. I can only try. Anyways,
If I remember,
waltz off.
I'm gonna want to talk about this particular moment that we just discussed, like in post game or at some point, because I'm interested to like dive into Tassandra's thought patterns and some stuff here. It's very interesting development and growth.
Well,
But
still got riding time, so I think Tills is
yeah,
gonna
the
go.
journey continues as you get a few hours in. It eventually gets to the point where you have to find a spot to make camp. For the sake of brevity here, because we have a lot of weeks to get through. You get through that camping phase, or a lot of days to get through, I should say. And travel goes on for, we'll say, how many of these fucking hexes are you moving per day? Let's see. You guys gonna be at fast pace?
We move 2
So,
hexes per day.
a
at the
little
event.
under 2.
A little under 2. Gotcha.
We move. Fuck. What's the best way to math this?
It's about 100 miles per day of travel. So
There you go. It'll take us 3 days.
3
to
days to
here.
get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 3 days of travel go by, and we're gonna go ahead and
Right.
1, 2, 3, and now just to kind of we're actually you're arriving at the same point at night at the end of this 3 days travel. It's like now you're setting up camp here, a little ways from your journey, but go ahead and mark off 3 days worth of rations, or just hit long rest 3 times, and it should come up with a prompt 3 times. Or you can change it when you hit long rest, and maybe it'll come up and say how much food did you eat, and you can choose 3 rations. Not sure.
I don't know if we have to set something up differently, but mine doesn't take from my rations.
Yeah, mine doesn't either. No, the rations
It's
part
just
never
one
pops up. They're not
tab,
tied anymore.
So go to your, because we can all fix this at once. On your attributes page, go down to where it says Death Saves, Exhaustion, Inspiration. Go to the very bottom of that list and go to Special Traits, and click that little cog.
Hold on.
Okay. It's like under your
Hmm.
tool proficiencies.
Though actually,
Okay.
that shouldn't matter
Oh, true.
because that's flicked on for you guys. I thought that would be there. It was working before. Let me see if I can fix that. Cause food. Food.
Are we maybe using the wrong rations?
Yeah, that's
I
what
think
was
there's 2.
thinking would be it.
Food. Maybe so. That might be what it is. Let me see.
I was taking the rations from the SRD. Should I be taking different rations?
Does your
Well-
icon look like that?
Oh yeah. Weird. That's. I wonder if it lost functionality because this used to have like a menu when you press long rest. It used to say like, "What item did you eat?" I thought it did.
Yeah, it used to.
It used to for sure, which would be very silly if it lost functionality with an update. That's a bad update. That's a real bad update.
I feel
But
like
surely
that
that
would
would be the
be-
case.
A different ration. Like a different ration item.
Yeah, I was looking for the
List consumable food and items. Here we go. That's what I
module,
needed.
but I couldn't
List
find
water
it.
containers. I found it. I think if I turn that on now, it should. Try now. Maybe.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Whoa.
Skalaka.
long rest.
Oh, mine did not. Still.
Yeah,
Yeah, yours is
mine-
not from me either. But let me go see if Walter's is for some reason.
Maybe does
Why
he
do
have a
I
different
need
ration? Oh yeah,
to-
Walter has a different ration item than we do.
It's trying to make
Oh
me make
yeah.
a concrete throw. Why?
But yours is I
Um,
think mine's from the D&D Beyond items, and you said yours is from the.
I don't know why it made me do that. I thought I should have all the food and water I need.
It shouldn't have. Especially if you checked yes. But it is saying it is saying that. Let me
By the way, do we have a way of replenishing water skins out on travel?
when you're traveling with an area that's not like low on water, you essentially it's kind of hand wave. Where it's
It's
like
kinda
if
hand
you
wave.
have rations, you have water with it. But
Oh,
in
okay,
certain
I
areas
think-
where water's rare, you might be like, okay, you have to track exactly how much water. But here you're fine. You have plenty of water.
I think when I tried to do those, it was taking charges from my water skin, and it tried to make me do that. Weird.
The water skin thing is the same.
Interesting. Hang on. Let me just check that out and see if the SRD rations work better.
I'm using the SRD rations.
Yeah.
That's-
Tillis, I put a. Let me just see. Long rest.
No, I think it's.
Oh no, it's working now. It's working now.
Okay,
Ooh.
then what might have happened for you, Matt, because it happened for me, is that my rations was listed as a potion, not food.
Oh, you have to list it as food, of course. Let me fix that in the
Oh, mine's a train.
Yeah, I can
Weird.
fix
You're
that.
just wearing
Food.
your
Cool.
meat.
Got
That makes so much sense. Okay.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, you have to set it as food. Dope.
Perfect. That's easy. Simple. That way now our food tracking will be automatic.
Guy now. Respect
You the
me.
smart one. I'm a big smart one. I know how to do
Nice.
Foundry. I'm the
leader,
bestest.
And I'm
You're
saying,
the new
we
Foundry
fu- we
guy.
say
Direct
fuck
all
this
of your
thing.
future inquiries to Mook.
We gotta go
All
hang out with
Foundry
the
inquiries.
guys.
I'm going back to
in
town. I'm
series.
going to the hut. I got a new goal I want to pursue. I want to go to the,
I'm gonna get him
bungalow.
arms. I'm gonna get him jack arms.
So, with this, do that like I don't know if you got to do it 3 times to get all 3 rations automatically.
Yeah.
I assume you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But easy enough. Bada boom, bada bing.
We could-
So, as you all gather around your camp, someone roll a percentile die for me.
I feel lucky. Let me do it.
It always turns out bad when I do it.
Nice.
Feels like a good number.
It's really good or
Feels
really
like a
bad.
number.
It's definitely one of the numbers of all time.
78 goblins appear out of the bush.
78 pit fiends come from a new world one.
And they're like, we can't possess you. What? Let's do it.
And now we're all supposed to roleplay our characters as if they were possessed by pit fiends.
Not just one
Oh.
pit fiend, like 24 pit fiends.
Each.
Oh, this is exciting. You're walking along, and like, you're setting your camp, and you kind of camped a little bit off of the road a little bit, and you hear. It sounds like a tree being a tree falling. I mean, a tree being felled, as it like the big creaking with an impact after, and then you hear that, and you hear it in almost like this kind of cadence where it's like a that same kind of like within that kind of like time frame together.
A walking pace, one might say.
Yeah, a little bit quicker than like a walking pace, where it sounds like multiple things are embedded at the same time. I actually hear it. It's coming from it's coming from the road. It's just coming from a ways down the road, and you can kind of hear it ahead of time.
Can I owl up and get in
Yeah.
there?
You fly up, and in the night of the owl, it's a little bit dark, but the night's clear enough. Actually, let's see what the weather's like. Clear sky. Yep. That being said, you fly up, and as it comes into view, you're the first to see it. You see what looks like an entourage of walking tree men that are kind of just walking down this path. They are surrounding a wooden barge-like platform that has large walking legs that look like tree roots and tree stumps. It's like they resemble thick, gnarled roots. It's passing by, and it's starting to head. Anything you want to do?
What's the thing?
Oh, and atop the platform, there is like a wooden chair-like throne that a elf wearing long green flowing robes, a long flowing brown beard that's kind of growing with moss in it.
A bearded elf.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
You have my attention.
I'm not a big non-bearded full for the elves because of the unique but Galarian elves, they can't grow beards, funny enough, but the elves that are native to this plane can.
Oh, Tess
For
has to
reasons.
shave her beard regularly.
Yeah. Huh?
You said it was like a moss beard, or was it a regular beard?
It's a regular beard that's moss grows growing in. But he's just sitting there, just like kind of sitting like this, like head tilted back, almost a little at rest as the chair walks along.
Have I heard anything about some like elf in this type of regalia?
Make a 3 check. It's pretty easy.
Okay. Watch this one.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, this is a. In fact, you can kind of recognize so much about this. This is probably a diplomatic convoy from the Conclave of Hyboria. That individual atop the chair is likely an Archdruid, a very, very powerful spellcaster of the Conclave. And if an Archdruid's riding around out here, so they're up to something important, very important, because they're like the governing bodies of the Conclave. There's only so many of them.
Okay, what the hell? I have questions for him.
Did they have like is there a way that you would address someone like this? Or did you just say Archdruid?
Non-Hyborians, they are a little chill with, and in fact, they're chill with everybody who doesn't fuck with their druidic magics illegally. As long as you don't fuck with druidic magic, they don't really give a shit. And as long as you're not a threat to the material plane. That's usually their big deals. So when it comes to rank and stuff, they aren't actually that official in the sense of like needing everyone to call them by a title. However, within their own structure, within the Conclave is very bureaucratic. It has a very very long chain of command, essentially, of like very, very niche differences between the ranks until you get all the way up to Archdruid. And because of this, they essentially think their underlings, they kind of foster a reputation to be communicated with, kind of like how you would be expected to communicate with a manager or a boss at work. That they kind of have that like office worker mentality in the Druidic Order, essentially, with some healthy other stuff added in. But that's the basis.
Where is this enclave?
If you look at the map of Agravar based on provinces, you'll see to the north of Valeera there is Hyboria. The Hyboria is this province, and the Druidic Conclave of Hyboria controls all of it.
Okay.
They are one of the most prominent military powers, ironically, in the world because of their sheer size.
Gotcha. Enclave as a term of government, not as an actual enclave. I understand now.
Right.
I thought you were pointing to like an enclave in Valeera. I was like, I don't see this enclave.
Oh, they do have the Hyborian Tree of Trade.
They do.
So they do
Not
have
anymore, though.
a thing. Oh,
Yeah, they lost control of that when the roots got disconnected with the shattering. They lost their ability to travel across their special trees, which they usually can like transit between them pretty freely using what they call the world roots. But neither here nor there. but they can't now. They lost reinforcements, and now the subterranean sovereignty currently control it.
Well, Tesla's going to try to flag him down.
Yeah.
Excuse me, emissary of Hyborian, sir.
Oh, local. Hello. I greet thee. I see you recognize my convoy, and I appreciate your willingness to come forth, for I find myself lost in your lands. Would you be so kind as to give an old man in directions to the capital?
Yes, of course. I'm of the Morloff family, so if you frequented the Tree of Trade, I'm sure that you've heard of us. I would be more than happy to assist you with whatever directions you may need, but I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Recently, my companions and myself found ourselves north of Celembria in the forests, and there we encountered a bit of a sight that I've been struggling to comprehend, but I figure maybe one of yours could do this. There was a duck, a waterfowl of some sort, but it was gigantic, much larger than your convoy, as you called it. Astronomical in size. I assumed this was some powerful wizard playing a prank, but perhaps an archdruid would know. Have you heard of anything going on?
He scratches his brain. Information for information. That is a fair trade. Let me think. And he scratches his brain a little bit. High or low, Matt?
Always high.
Always high.
I roll.
There are many possibilities. I will blunt with you. To me, it sounds like the work of a mischievous fae. Knowing context, they like to play their pranks and must be kept in line, as he points over to all of the trees. These tree men look like they look much like walking trees, like humanoid trees, much like Groot actually, except there are various stalks, or like this is what happens when you don't sleep. The various width and heights, as well as like builds and stuff. So they're like there's seemingly different purposes of them, but they all have like similar like root-like tree-like structure, and like kind of glowing out from the middle of their chest sections is almost like this dim green glow that kind of illuminates the area around them.
Hey, you say, do you I got maybe this is a DM question. What is the Fey presence in Valera like nowadays? Would I know?
History check.
Yeah.
Nature check.
History's
Nature would be more
strongest.
appropriate, but if you have a better modifier, history.
Can I do nature?
I have a way better history modifier than nature, but if nature gives me what I want to know, I prefer to roll that.
Nature's a more appropriate check here. Tillis, you know the answer to this. Sandra, you don't. But Tillis, you know that the Fae have a very limited presence here, in especially on the continent of Inoculus. The historical reasons for this is because, one, Fae like forests and groves and a lot of things like that. Valera doesn't have a lot of that, so there's not a lot of places for them to hide, essentially, or build their trees, which grant them access to, or gateways, I should say, the Feywild, which they needed to establish magical groves. That being said, there's not a lot of Fae in this area. There aren't any. Like, there are stories of people still getting messed with the Fae in more rural areas, but there is certainly far less. And in Ulvest, actually, you know this, Marjolaine, just inherently. Not about Valera, but the Ulvest part. And you would know this a little bit too, Tillis, vaguely. that due to the event called the Monster Civil War in Ulvest, which is essentially a time when Ulvest was still a Regatian colony, and they had not yet claimed independence. And in this time, they were genociding monsters, or anything they considered monsters, which the Fae fell into. And there was a great war that kind of broke out in that space. But really a crusade, really more of a going into the Fae forest, burning them out, killing them, killing ogres, killing goblins, killing orcs, giants especially. Ogrelons were displaced. A lot of the Ogrelons that you see around the world have been displaced from Ulvest as... that's probably too much information if I keep going. So, for like a 16. But I could. I have more. I have more.
Luckily, Tillis doesn't know about the ducks in the home, so he doesn't know to the extent that you guys are being harassed. So if Tess were to look over at him, he'd probably just like shrug, because it could be Faye, but doesn't really seem likely to him.
Right. In my time here, which has been all of it, I don't recall even infrequent incidences of Fae, so while that would normally make sense, that seems unlikely to me.
And perhaps a follower of Fae. I know many of you, the less studious, especially of the shorter-lived races, are often looking for shortcuts to power, and will often pledge themselves to a mischievous Fae or even an eldest for, well, power
That's
in return for service. It is
infinitely more likely.
Hmm.
I believe that.
something to
But you do
consider.
believe that whatever is the source of this, it has some connection to Fae, not wizardry.
You said there was mischief involved, yes. That is what makes me think of that.
Okay, I suppose I'll have to work with that. Unfortunately, it seems I may have a Fae infestation in my home. It's all ducks, you see.
Huh.
Yes,
That is...
I couldn't even sleep there last night. I
Terribly
don't know how these two
distasteful.
did.
I'm not a fan of birds myself. I see to it that, well, they stay far away from me.
Right. Well, as for your information, if you follow this road to the southeast, you'll meet a fork. And then if you take a southwest at that fork, you will find yourself southwest. You will find your way to Hysea, whatever it is.
Yeah.
This place. Continue along the road through the town, and you will inevitably find the capital. Just be aware that this road leads you to the northern entrance of the capital, which happens to run adjacent to that whole demon
The world
debacle.
wound, I've heard. It is part of what I'm here to discuss. But thank you, traveler.
Well, hold on. You're here to discuss the world wound.
With
Whom, if I may ask?
well, you have been kind to me. You've not made yourself a threat. I, of course, have business with the Emperor himself.
Are you Hyborians capable of traveling between most trees, or just certain ones that were connected with the big tree?
Those powerful enough to control the green, the primal magics of the world, can open gateways to trees they are familiar with, but it takes power, it takes energy. It's not something we readily have available as, say, world roots, which we can pre-establish and essentially make permanent connections between our trees. Big trees, special trees.
Would you be able to locate an individual? Me, for example.
If you were to carry a charm like this one, and as he pulls out a little bit of bark breaks it off of his throne that's walking on, you see it immediately starts to grow back. He puts it in his hand, starts to druid craft it into this wonderfully intricate. Well, it could be anything. What would you prefer?
I would never presume to tell you how to shape your craft, but my point
I was
being
thinking a
that
crown, a bracelet, a belt, a anklet.
perhaps
Those are typical
something
things
subtle.
I usually make. A necklace, maybe? Just a nice, thin, brambly.
Like, looks at her, this collection of brooches and amulets going on. A bracelet will do fine. But
Bracelet.
in the event that your discussions with the Emperor of Traphus don't give you the answers you seek, perhaps seek me out. I
And
may
your
have some
name?
insight. Cassandra Morloft.
Ah, I've heard of your kind. I was told to expect some dealings, but I didn't expect it before I got to the city. Your widespread family. Well, here you are. And he hands you this, it almost looks like, it's like a very simple, like, braided branch bracelet, but it is perfectly smooth, no roughness at all when you touch it. It is like the most finely crafted piece of wood that's perfectly smooth, but looks quite natural and still bearing all of, like, a living root. And you hold it, and, you know, he shows that it even has a clasp that can come on and off and kind of attach to your wrist. Keep that on you, and, if I ever need you, Miss Morloft, I be able to reach out. I'll find you.
Perfect. Perhaps we can do some more dealing in the future, but I do presume that you will have most of your questions left unanswered, and whatever those may be, perhaps I have what you're looking for, or we have what you're looking for. She kind of like nods towards Tillis.
Tillis is like, he is like examining this mount as closely as he can because he's like really interested in this. He's like, what is this? He's like, is this what I'm doing, but just wood?
He looks at you and just smiles. You've taken interest. I see you appreciate the finer points of druidic crafts.
Yeah. How long does this thing last?
Oh. As long as it needs to. Forever. Unless it gets destroyed.
He does a tiny scowl because he thought maybe he would have something over him. He's like, wow, this thing's great, but seems a little slow, no?
Yes, it is. It is. It is. But it has other forms.
Oh, really? Anything you can...
Would you like to see?
I would be... I didn't want to oppose, but yes, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Well, this is exciting. I don't get to show it off very much.
You're
Convoy.
twisting my arm. I'll show you what my fucking Lamborghini can do.
He starts talking to us. Convoy. Let's show them the wing formation. And you see they all the tree men start to meld and form together and attach to the side of the craft here, and to form these giant dragonfly-like wings made of wood that start to get this like thin film that kind of magically appears between the branches, and it starts to like levitate and starts to hover above the ground. He's like, well, it's a little shakier. I don't prefer to travel this way, but if I ever need to, I can fly. It can also, of course, serve as a decent boat craft, etc.
Is that how you happen to get here, or did
Sounds like a helicopter around you, by the way. It's just,
Is that
it's
how
just-
you got here, or did you go through the subterranean sovereignty?
Well, my travels, they brought me quite an interesting way. I sailed down the Platinum Strand by boat, but unfortunately some terrible creature, which I have come to understand by the locals, it's called Cragfin, attacked my vessel, beached my boat somewhere near, well, I'm not sure where. I ended up waking up not too far from here, and we started, well, I created my friends here, and we started wandering, trying to find our bearings.
Oh, so sorry that happened to you.
Well,
Do
passion
you
is
want
a
us to
rarity.
get word out anywhere that you're okay?
Oh, it is fine. I've since sent messages to let everyone know of my position. just took some time to get my bearings. Lost my maps and a lot of my other traveling gear, but a druid of the green is never truly without tools. But I'm afraid I did not pay enough attention in my navigation courses.
Oh. Does Tills know anything about like something be customary with these sort of envoys? Is there anything that is expected from nobles, like any gifts or anything?
Make a history check.
Yeah, no worries.
You would
There
know
it is.
what is typically like presented in the Imperium as like political gifts. These are usually weapons of like honor, like special weapons, special equipment, and stuff like that. How much meaning that would have to a Hyborian druid? You're not sure.
The Hyborians, like an archdruid would not exactly worship on, but they would.
Oh, they specifically would. The
Okay, they
Conclave of
specifically
Hyboria. The Conclave of Hyboria is a religious organization built around the principles of On,
Okay.
the green god, which makes them a little different from a lot of druids, but makes them more akin to actual druids, which realistically are just old god worshippers in not so many terms, not so many words. That's more akin to what they are here, but not all druids are like that. Like primal magic exists as a natural force that they tap into, but they are also worshippers of On.
I know you said this guy hates birds. Does he like wear how much he hates birds on his sleeve, or is he no birds around him? Like, am I okay having Owly out?
Do you have Ally out?
It would have flown down.
Yeah, it was way up in the air.
Yeah, well, if
Something
it's
like that.
if it's away, it's not an issue. But if he sees it, does it come where he's somewhere you can see?
If his like guys start looking at it as it's flying down, then no, it'll stay out. But that's like 100 feet, so I don't know how.
Yeah,
close
yeah.
their range is.
They're not gonna attack every bird within 100
Okay.
feet. But they are like, if a bird came close enough, you get some vibes of things that might happen. Well, appreciate the chat, but I better be off as he's still like hovering there. Lands on the feet again, and then the wings that have formed turn back into fleshy.
Before you depart, Archdruid, we are also traveling. Would you lead us in prayer to On?
He looks at you, and just a genuine smile appears on his face, and he looks at you. You're a worshiper of the old faith. I thought
course.
everyone in this nation were heathens.
They are. I'm from Oldest,
Ah, makes sense.
but hopefully we
Wow.
can teach them.
Ah, yes, our friends of all of us. One of the other Archdruids has just been headed over there, actually, not too long ago, to discuss. Wow, that's crazy. Small world. I suppose we do live in the same little geographical pocket. But wow, that's exciting. I would love to discuss theology with you, but of course we each have our pressing matters. It's late, but I could do just that. He looks like he's getting excited to actually meet another faithful. And he's like, okay.
At some point during the conversation, probably about midway through, Walter is going to very quietly lean over to Tilly's, say, "Kid, I know you've got paper on you. Can I borrow a sheet?"
Of course. And he's gonna take out a piece of paper, but he's also gonna take out a piece of paper for himself.
Walter takes it with a nod of thanks, and very quietly he's going to begin to scribble. I would assume the military has like their own ciphers that they use, right?
Yeah. You could have a military cipher. You could even add to your languages and do like a Imperium cipher.
Yeah, I will do that.
Soldiers can't.
Essentially, right? Just like
Yeah.
if you're writing notes to the two higher ups, it's what you would use.
The officers, like officers of the Imperium, would know this cipher, but not
Officers can't.
laymen's.
Right. I think he's going to scribble out while this conversation is going on, especially as Marjolaine's talking to him, a very short message in the cipher you use to report to like the highest of bigwigs, right? He's writing a cipher that he knows the Emperor can read because the Emperor gets notes written in these ciphers. And he's gonna fold it in one of those ways that like you have to tear it open to read. So anyone who gets it knows if it's been opened or not.
Yeah.
And he is he's gonna wait for the ambassador to be like kind of rounding up and getting ready to go before he speaks to him.
Got you. You don't do it now. You can do it after the game, but like, just write the details of that letter down and send it to me like a private channel or something.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
because-
can pop that in the backstory channel.
absolutely. As this is happening, as Walter's writing down the script, he looks at you. Okay. Well, as is custom, do the Scarlet Father in these kind of prayers, since you're faithful. I see the symbol. It is, of course, the prime deity of the pantheon. It is only right. His prayer is uttered first, and his respect is uttered first. So I would adhere to the faithful here. I could. Like, it looks to you to start the prayer because of this particular order of how the followers do. Like, because it's usually Dew's on top, and then his brothers are equal below him. But Dew is considered the prime,
Big
like the
D.
Zeus, Big D, the Big Dew,
Big Diesel.
Daddy do.
Daddy Dew.
What daddy do?
What did he do?
Faithful, today we are gathered, your Dew's sons, as we walk Dew's earth and create his dust. We ask for your blessing, for a safe travel, for fast travel, and to crush the bones of any fiend beneath our feet. And she just goes on and on.
And as it comes to his time, he's... And on, the life giver, the verdant wayfinder, the originator, the father of dreams, the master of healing luck in nature, please see to it that these travelers and true champions of the old faith arrive at their destination unspoiled, with a generous bounty return to them for whatever they seek. And, of course, it would not be rift, though there are none of the followers of Ari, the divine arcanist, he also be revered. And they kind of does the whole, like, the the version of their Hail Mary, etc., etc.
That was wonderful.
He looks at you. Yes, of course. It was great to meet you. Do you plan on traveling with? You know what? I'll make you one too. And he goes about making another like druidic. He looks at you. What are you feeling? Bracelet, crown, necklace, belt.
Belt is very useful. Yes.
And he makes you a nice woven belt, druid craft. And it actually, this one is kind of a little more vine-like in nature and has like white flowering buds kind of coming off of it. And he puts it over to you. Good. Just in case you two get split up and, I need to talk more about, wow. Crazy. You said you're from Olvest. Does anyone know you there? Is there anyone I could talk to give you like a word of good reputation? Because I have a reputation in Olvest. I have people in Olvest. I'd love to network.
Of course, many of the people I know are at the World Moon, but perhaps you could give word to my family, the Dussault family.
Do that. Well. Lady Moroff and Lady Dussault? And company?
At that, I think Tillis will walk up. What he's been doing is he's kind of been scribbling away, and then he takes his signet ring and uses sealing wax to seal it with his signature of the Astignons, and he just holds him the folded parchment and he goes, "Now, without you being with your company, I don't quite feel so safe with you on the road without some writ of some kind. So here, if you get into any trouble, I am the heir of Wintermill. You can use this and you might be able to get by. And, you know, when you've reached the capital, I'm sure the Emperor can just get that taken care of. You don't have to carry that any longer, but I'm just trying to make sure you have safe carry. If we walk away and I'm not 100% certain you're safe, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight."
I feel like I really lucked out with the travelers that I've run into on the road here. Like, you three, not only are you so hospitable, you're just also so important. Wow. I cannot wait to get back to, well, my home and write this in the Chronicles. This is fantastic. Well,
Should we?
do you mind if I craft you something? Would you like a little thing too? I'm making a lot of like little trinkets for people. It's kind of my thing.
I know you're very busy and it's late, so I don't want to keep you up.
Yes. Well, it all takes a minute. What would you like?
Oh, I mean, like, nothing too ostentatious. Maybe just like a circlet.
Okay, I see. And he goes and starts to make this. You said you want hair, right? And he starts to make this like dramatic, regal crown of like vines. It's not so exotic. It's just enough for where it's not like an emperor level. It's not even king level. It's like it's a nice low lord level. It's kind of comes up into a crowning thing right here. Kind of comes up to a triangle shape, but it's all made of roots and vines and twisting leaves and flowers. And he looks like, yes, here you go, and hands it to you.
Thank you so much.
And the flowers, what color? What are the main colors of your outfit?
The main colors are going to be some dark reds, but mainly a lot of yellows and golds.
You get some roses with some like even like okay, so there's some roses like accented with it's interesting. They look like sunflowers almost, but smaller, and they have this black. Where the seeds would be, that's like much darker black, and the petals themselves actually are almost striped like a bee, like black stripes kind of go along them. I put a little flair on this one. Here you go.
Yes, the bee crown.
The bee crown.
That would be fucking.
That would be fucking.
I don't think we
Indeed.
ever got his
As Callisto
name, did we?
intends.
Oh,
If someone were to ask who crafted these, yeah, who would we say?
Most people do not need my name anymore, so it's not a question to ask. But for new friends, who are on the road, you can all, of course, call me Elendor. Wow. What a wonderful day. Truly, the Life Giver blesses us with bountiful travels and a wondrous story. I cannot wait to tell my friends. Like I said, I'm so excited. I was getting sleepy. I was getting tired on the road. It's very boring, this travel so far, but just now, I'm so excited. Gonna be up
Yes,
for
for sure.
hours. Well. I best be off, though. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Good friends. I will depart. As he sits down, like kind of sits back, straightens himself up, dusts off, and sits back in his regal riding position of like going back to that stoic elf, just sitting. as the
Ambassador,
chair-
a moment ago.
Oh,
I,
and he kind of like casuals back up and like leans back forward. Yes. Would you like some sort of accessory? Is that what you're getting at?
No, but I do have a request. And he is going to assume like a soldier's position, clearly showing the like imperial officer's badge that he always wears. And then he's going to hand him the note, or like offer up the note, right? He's not assuming to be allowed to approach, but offer it up and say, at a moment convenient to you, I would request that you pass this to the Emperor.
He like kind of scratches behind his head. pulls his hand back, and he's like holding a spider, and he flings it towards you. The spider's still stuck to his wrist, like the white web, and it latches onto the letter, and then almost like retracts back and flies back to his hand.
Reverse Spider-Man, hell yeah.
Would Jeline be able to assume that he speaks Celestial?
Make a religion check.
Sure.
Nature check could also be appropriate here, but they're both equal in this particular one for importance, because kind of interchangeable when it comes to the conclave beliefs.
16.
16? What'd you ask me?
If I could assume he would be able to speak Celestial.
Ah, true. Let's see. Knowing them, any Archdruid, anyone like up on the higher end of the conclave, especially one this devout, clearly, probably speaks Celestial.
Great. In Celestial, Marjolaine will just offer, be careful with the words that this one shares. He shows some worrying traits.
He responds in Celestial. Oh. Do you care to elaborate, dear friend?
I fear to elaborate more would arouse suspicion, but I trust you.
A beautiful hymn, he says in common, just kind of covering, just kind of like, I love that one myself.
Yes,
I-
the Wayfinder.
I don't think Walter buys that for a second.
Make an insight check.
What all did she say?
She was saying in Celestial.
I know.
Oh! To paraphrase, she said, don't trust, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, okay? Don't trust all the things Walter said. He's not quite what he seems, more or less. And then kind of hinted at like, hey, it's not too safe to go into detail here. And then he kind of nodded and kind of went with it, and you heard that. Walter, that's pretty good. Since it's pretty obvious here. Okay, everyone knows here. Let's you make a deception check, and I'll make a deception check too for my druid.
Even if I rolled low, like maybe he's not necessarily doubting the Archdruid, but he doesn't.
Just to kind of clarify, like what this insight roll will kind of mean. One, Marjolaine, you can decide what he reads off of like yours, and same. I'll do the same for the Archdruid. But ultimately, what an insight roll means in this kind of context is just anything you might pick up. It doesn't necessarily mean you believe them or not. Like if you roll low, just because you roll low doesn't mean you believe them. If you roll high, doesn't mean you don't disbelieve them. It's just you'll get information that you can use to inform whether you do or
Okay.
not. Ultimately.
Yeah, because I think either way, just between last night and he definitely doesn't trust.
Walter has a lot of
Well,
reasons to be paranoid. Absolutely.
Yeah, he wrote a coded message and he's like, I no real information in this. Well, he put information, but not related to him, in this note, which I'll send you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Take your time on that.
And I think just the fact that none of the conversation was in a different language up until he made himself known, regardless of what the roles were, he's
Well,
definitely...
I'll tell you, yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what you do see, because he's not a very good liar. This is a very thinly veiled attempt at. He was clearly talking. There was no tone. There was no melody. There was no joyous thing. And you've heard celestial hymns before. You may have like walked past a temple where someone was singing in celestial, heard celestial before. This didn't come off like a song. It didn't come off like a song in this particular context. And up to you if he reads anything different off of you, Marjolaine, or if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that like this is not a hymn or anything. This is not actually like a religious whatever. I think it's pretty obvious that we're just talking in a language that we feel that no one else can understand.
Wouldn't it have been fucked if Walter was secretly a celestial warlock this whole time and he just
Yeah.
yelled it out like...
Fuck this
no,
guy.
that would be good
Au
though.
contraire, I am to be believed.
I'm very.
No, God, you do it.
I'm not going to. I
That's
was,
true.
in fact, possessed by Jesus.
Amen.
Yeah, I think following that, Walter's going to again with his fucking eye patch. That's just it's he's too used to that not being
Lean
covered.
into it.
He's gonna essentially give Marjolaine an evil eye, but he's going to turn back to what was his name? Archdruid Eldaron?
Elendor, which I'll spell here for you.
Elendor.
Elendor. There we go.
Elendor.
You always spell your shit differently from me. Kill.
And he's just gonna say very matter-of-factly, I hold loyalty above all else, and loyalty to His Imperial Majesty beyond all. You don't have to give it to him before you have your discussions, but please make sure it makes it to him, not anyone else. There are things he needs to know, much to the detriment of the nation otherwise.
I will see to it. No worries for my good friends.
Walter offers a full, military salute.
He gives you almost like the lazy Jesus just wave, just kind of Well,
He's loving all that shit.
see you later, friends.
Burn up.
As his massive platform starts to lumber off with his convoy of Leshy. The night returns once more to a peaceful state, a uneventful state. And if you like, you can resume your rest or discuss what just happened or do whatever you like. Up to you. Ultimately up to you.
I do think at night Tessa's gonna approach Marjolaine. I think she's I don't know, whenever they're alone, she's gonna try to do this alone for sure from the other ones. And I don't know, maybe even sit down next to her instead of across from her. I took it that you and Walter had set apart whatever differences you had, but based on that exchange, I can see I was wrong.
We've set our differences apart. It just seems that I am the one keeping an eye on him again.
Right. You and I did exchange words.
We
But I am
did.
to keep a leash on him, and you to keep an eye on the boy.
That's correct.
Am I to take this as you either changing the agreement or distrusting me?
It's not distrust. I understand that Tillis seems to be something important to you, and you like to keep a close eye on him, which takes up your attention, as keeping an eye on Walter has taken up mine.
So it's incompetency that you think?
Perhaps not incompetency, but a hierarchy of your desires.
I'll have
He
you know that
confronted
I was
me.
for the most part separate from the boy for close to 3 years. I allowed him his autonomy with that perverse old man in his tower. And while his potential has grown, his abilities have advanced faster than I would have expected them to. It seems that his mind was not as resilient as I thought it was. And he seems to have been spoon-fed the old moron's ideologies, and it's dangerous for him, and it's causing him to make dangerous decisions against people that he should not. And I worry for him.
Perhaps then you'll understand that Perhaps you appreciate that there must be a reason that the Empire is not as strong as it once was. You worry for the Empire's ideals fed to Tillis. I worry for the Empire's ideals that seem to inhabit the man that offered that box with us. We're worried of similar things.
I don't think we are.
That's one way of seeing it. But just know this, I watch over Walter. Not out of curiosity, but because I worry. It's good to be prepared.
What exactly are you concerned about with Walter? I mean, his gifts are concerning, but no less concerning than some of mine, I'm sure you've noticed, or especially the handful of accessories adorning Tillis. No one here is more possessed than that boy.
I see no signs of possession in Tillis. Yes, you and Tillis both work with unnerving magic.
You see no signs of possession on Tillis.
I
Not a
don't.
one. Allow me to elevate your stress. You are sorely mistaken.
Am I?
Very.
I've
And
seen
perhaps
no
even blind.
black smoke coming out of his body. I see no ribbing of undead soul.
You simply haven't seen it yet. You should ask him about the wardrobe.
A wardrobe.
The wardrobe. I feel that you won't believe it from me, because you're too set on Walter. Walter is at least overt in what he does. Tillis has more demons than you can imagine, following him around, sometimes manipulating every move he makes, corrupting his mind. They're even animating his legs.
The necromancy.
The necromancy magic is its own thing, but the source of it. Do you think he came up with this on his own? Do you think he made the stick?
No, that's a
Of course he didn't. It was a gift. Or likely an exchange. And simply saying to broaden your vision and to focus on the one who's being more subtle about it. If Walter's going to be a threat, we'll know long before. He's not as clever as he thinks he is. And I don't think he even intends to be. He seems to wear his heart on his sleeve, so to say. Doesn't back down from it. Doesn't seem ashamed of it.
being
So-
ashamed of being currently possessed is a rare trait. As I see what you mean. Then we stay the course. I
Gus
watch.
is gonna pull that vial of holy water that you gave him before. If he's possessed, would this do anything?
It would hurt.
Would it?
Cause him pause. Would give us enough time to intervene. It's not a cure, it's preparation.
Sure. It is, it would reveal, so to speak.
In a way, yes.
Wonderful. Watch. And she's gonna walk over to, I assume Walter and Tillis are asleep or something.
Tillis is asleep.
Yeah. She's gonna skulk on over and, like, pull the bit of it and,
Marjorie
like-
will try and stuff.
just, she's gonna try to pour just a little bit onto Walter's hand.
If we're gonna just do a, if you're gonna do it, just treat it as like a grapple. So athletics/acrobatics to contested athletics, acrobatics, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. You know.
It is dark, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be at disadvantage.
Ooh, just a little too quick. She just is already gone. As you reach out for her, and she's already pouring the drop as You use the flask.
I'm pouring like half of it onto Walter's like hand.
Do 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 do.
Here, I'll-
You guys remember that Vine where somebody just like poured water on the girl's face and she just like wakes up like, hello?
Hello? And they start drowning her. They like dump a whole bucket on her. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Walter does is you start pouring holy water on him. He just kind of goes, hello?
Wet. What happens here is like you don't splash enough to quote unquote use the item, so it wouldn't burn, like it wouldn't do damage in this context if you
Right.
use as much again. But it does like splash on him, and if it was a fiend, you would see some like bubbling and some sizzling, or like some signs of the radiant energy. And like I think we'll reconsider where Walter is on the like what type of creature he is. But right now, until he has that next ability, I don't consider him an undead. Technically, so like he isn't gonna. It doesn't hurt. It just a splash of water and wakes you up.
The
If he
longest
starts
con.
to rouse or say anything, Tessa's gonna like put her like hand over his mouth and then pull it back and give him the shush. And then turn and make eye contact with Marjolaine. Now watch. And she's going to move over to Sleeping Puss and is going to pour the rest of the flask on the ring finger.
Tillis, as you're sleeping and the water hits your ring, you immediately feel this burning sensation all around your finger. It's just like it's like an allergic reaction almost to silver, where it's like it's really itchy, and then it starts to burn, and then it starts to almost feel like there's acid on just around the ring, just around that little bit, just around that little loop, and it like audibly sizzles and wakes you up as your finger burns.
Yeah, I think he wakes up and I think he's like one hand is reaching for the gun. He's like, what's happening? What's happening?
You see Cassandra standing over you with a flask.
What-
She's just going to drop the flask on the floor next and then turn to Marjolaine.
Yeah, she's reaching down for the hand that has the ring on it.
He is pulling back as much as he can.
Tessa's going to watch.
And she's gonna try and grab the hand if she can, and then just like fucking.
Oh wait, he doesn't have his thing in hand. Yeah, he's just crawling.
Like somewhere near your resting place, just perfectly upright. The cane is like immovable rod, just like standing up somewhere, just nearby.
Yeah, he's probably trying to get to that before she can get to him.
You want to roll for it, or just want to?
Sure.
Yeah,
Roll
we'll
initiative.
roll.
Roll initiative. Just roll initiative.
Oh.
Sure.
Ugh.
Guess it's just a dex check.
Just dex check.
Oh.
Pretty quick.
Is that gonna roll? Are you gonna roll? Here we go.
Not quick enough, as you, Tillis. You. The training's kicking in. It's like even though your legs, you tactically positioned it where it's like you can dive over, grab it, flick it off, turn it on, and stand up quickly. Well,
Yeah.
quickly.
And then he's
Not so quickly. It's like as the legs almost animate like a skeleton, like raising from the ground.
I
It's like
mean,
it's almost unnatural. It's like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's just like a rise.
Yeah, but as he's like grabbing the staff and clicking it out just to hold it, he is pointing his gun at Marjolaine. Like, whoa there, whoa. Are you just gonna do this to everybody?
I think at that moment it becomes clear that Walter is in full armor, axe out, and is just sort of generally like I'm about to cast something big and scary in the general direction of people not Tillas, unless he gets an explanation.
Tessa's got to like hold her hand to you and say, "You will wait and you will watch." It's not your
The ring
turn.
you're wearing.
Yeah. What about it?
You should take it off.
I can't.
Why not?
It's cursed.
You are training with a very powerful mage. Removing a curse is trivial for someone of that power?
I haven't mentioned it much
Why?
because I didn't know what it did.
It's an odd answer for someone who has access to a large amount of magical knowledge.
Yeah, well, now I do.
Why do you keep wearing it then?
Well, I can't remove it myself, and I kind of want to see what it does.
You're playing a risky game.
He means to say that he won't remove it because not only can he not, but he also doesn't want to.
You're playing with forces that I've seen. You've seen. You've seen what happened. This is something to play with.
It could be something to control.
No, it's not possible. What makes you able to control infernals after thousands of years of everyone failing?
I'm stronger than those people.
You're not.
I will be.
There comes a day that you could control it. I'll find you. Comes a day when you open that puzzle box. I'll remember.
Can I sleep peacefully until then?
You can try.
I'd like to get back to it.
Oh, by the way, sorry, Tillis, slip of the hand.
No worries. Tillis is now like, you see him taking out his spell book and he is setting up alarms everywhere in his tent.
Sorry for the awakening, Walter.
And then he's gonna go out and he's gonna go to the lion and just smack it.
It silently, unless you want it to show pain.
He does at this moment.
Want to see you cry.
What are you good for?
It falls down to the ground and cowers.
Get up.
It slowly, cowardly puts itself back up.
And he goes back in to continue his alarm spelling.
You do.
Dylan will pick up the vial, the empty vial
like-
of holy water.
You see, it follows you now to the door of your camp, and it lays down, puts itself like on its paws in front of the door, just kind of like keeping a nervous lookout.
Sorry to wake you, Walter, but this was for your benefit. So, Marjolaine,
You do
I'm
realize
asking you
that
to-
I'm an officer of the military. We have to attend services every so often. Maybe not to your faith, but you realize that the military isn't just full of possessed people, right?
Actually, you know what? Never mind. Tillis goes out and takes his gun and blasts the lion between the eyes.
The bullet goes off. The lion fades away into magical.
And then he's going to sit
Familiar
down
energy.
and start his hour-long spell to get a new one.
Oh, it's not a real lion. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than what that. It's like my horse. I get it.
So it seems like Marjolaine wasn't the only ignorant one here.
With that, though, just because we're not going to have time otherwise if we don't do it now, let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break here before we hop into the rest of the session. That being said,
Or that.
I'm going to give Tilly's a hero point for murdering his pet in that entire scene. I'm going to give Marjolaine and Cassandra, however, you both have a point of inspiration. I will give you the choice to give that up in exchange for a hero point if you want, which, you know, I don't know why you would say no to that, because it does everything that an inspiration point does, but it also could do other things. So but you're free to say it's one of those. It's one of those choices that aren't really choices that I like to give out. So I'm gonna put
I
it in
just
your
want a hero
inventories.
point so that I can put stirring shit.
Pretty
in
much.
parentheses.
No, absolutely. I love that. I love that entire all the scenes there. Everyone was playing their character stuff there. Everyone was playing their characterful stuff there. And Walter, I loved your contributions, but
Oh yeah, no, believe me, I'm going through all these scenes thinking I'd love to get in there and play in the space, but I also feel like he's too paranoid at this exact moment that he
Yeah.
would be anything other than on guard.
I think it absolutely makes sense that you're playing the character, and like I don't want it to. I'm just saying it because I don't want it to come off as like, oh, everyone else got a hero point, but I didn't, so I'm doing something wrong. It's not that. It's just that this was a very them active scene, and that's how the hero points go. So.
Oh no, don't worry. I fully expect that we'll see more of Walter. If we end up in New Traffus, like that's going to be a lot of me, unfortunately, just being like,
Mhm.
we'll do something stupid because
Yeah.
we're in New Traffus.
Yeah, the more narrative beats we're hitting with particular characters, the more those characters are gonna like get hero points. It's only natural. But you guys are your cap now. You three are at your cap. So if I just so you know, if I say you get a hero point from now on and you already have a full, it'll be transferred to an inspiration point. And if you're full on that, sucks to suck.
Bitch points.
Yeah, sure. But let's go ahead. Oh, what's up?
Is there a way I can create a special language?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to your attributes and go to languages and edit it, there should be a special at the bottom that says special.
Oh,
The
split with
box,
semicolon.
the box that's grayed out, you can actually type in. Because
Oh,
Well,
wow.
that's good.
Bloodhawk in there. I
That's
can't.
good GUI design.
I don't know why it says Bloodhawk in there.
Add GUI.
Well, because I have Bloodhawk from.
Oh, right. The language, yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I just have to split with a semicolon. Okay,
Semicolon, absolutely.
gotcha.
So yeah, let's take that 10-minute break here and get back to it because still got quite a bit to go through, and I'm excited to see where we get to. Yeah.
Okay.
See you guys in about 10 minutes. So just about 9:55-ish. Well, let's say it's around. Nice. Cool.
Making friends, you know?
Making friends. Making pals.
Speaking of making friends, it may be the author in me, but I really feel like Marjolaine and Walter are going to end up either killing each other very quickly or become like inseparable friends forever.
Yeah, it seems that'll be the possible trajectories. I could see either of those.
Tillis is just gonna kill her.
It's alright. Many people gunning for Marjolaine.
Oh,
We
I've
just
actually
want
gone into
Gus
the
back,
days.
you know?
That's true.
It's dice day, my dudes. Classic made-up words. Cool. Yeah, actually fixed the day, so now it's the proper day. Actually, it should be the morning of the 17th. So let's go to dawn. That's not dawn. I don't know why it thinks dawn is midnight. I really don't.
Not
What
every
is it?
day.
Yeah, it has midnight. Oh no. They went way in the future. Go back. There we go. You must miss the entire Festival of Flowers. Though, you'll probably miss most of it this year. Sad.
Dang.
Rip.
Sad.
Sad rip. It's actually cool. I accidentally went too far in the future, but it popped up when I went past the event. It's like Festival of Flowers ends. Like it reminds me of the note thing too. Just a reminder that if you guys have, I don't think you guys have anything super relevant for this, but if you guys do get something that's like recharges once a week or recharges in 3 days, kind of like weird recharge times, or any notes you have like on this date, you can actually put it on the count. Oh wait, did I ever give you permission to do that? I was meant to do that. That was something I was meant to do. Oh, I can do it right here. Theoretically. Oh yeah, you should be able, you
Now we
should have
can
been
add
able to
new
add
note.
notes. Yeah. And you can add notes to days and yeah, for dates. That's cool.
the simple calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you open the SC on the player tool, you can actually add notes to dates. And I think you could. I don't know if you can see the dates the notes I've added, but I think you can see the
Oh,
notes.
yeah.
We can only see the Festival of Flowers thing.
Okay, good. That's the only notes that I've added. So
Yep.
I think I can make it where you can see my notes, which is good. And yeah, that's good for if like, hey, you hear about something that's 3 weeks away or something or whatever, you can quickly mark a date down.
The hell is Tilly's doing?
Yeah, so
I was gonna just tell Oog, I don't know if you care if you want to get me another sheet. I hate to do this to you, but I think Tillis would actually switch to a dire wolf because it's got better smell and hearing. So if he's looking for a defender, he's gonna shoot the lion and make a big wolf.
Okay, we'll just use the Art of the Lion for now.
Yeah,
and
that's-
then, yeah.
That almost feels like the start of like a really weird like Norwegian saying, right? Like shoot the lion, make a wolf.
True. It's gonna be cool. But if you want to add that to like your summon collection, like that you think you're gonna resummon more often, I'll get it in there.
They're
Get a
pretty
wolf
much the
one
same
for
you.
stat-wise. It doesn't really
there's
matter.
like any legends about that.
Yeah, but it's fun to like have all these cool
I know,
arts
it's fun to
of
have.
animals.
It's just I don't know if it's annoying to make them, so I'll ask you to.
There's an amount I'm willing to do, and one every few weeks is not
Okay,
too bad.
Cool, because I gotta tell you, that list is gonna grow.
hmm You can give me some in bulk. That actually helps.
Okay,
'Cause
no problem.
yeah, if you have a stat block and a art you want to go with
Yeah.
it, that's
Oh,
easier.
sick,
If you want to do some
sick.
bulk at some point.
Because next level is a giant boar time, baby.
Hell yeah, boar time. But
Bored.
boar time. It is now morning. You have all finished your rest and are kind of reconvening over your breakfast. So go ahead and do one more long rest to consume the 4th ration. Unless you've already consumed 4 rations, then you're
Walter
good.
turned into a horse?
Yes.
Walter did not turn into a horse. No,
I
Could he?
could he?
Please?
Uga,
no.
are you just copying my horse for Walter?
Yes.
Okay, just the creature type is celestial and the intelligence is 6. You just have to fix that.
Oh fuck! I chose the worst person
I know.
to copy a horse from.
Also, Walter just has a. It's just a riding horse. Is that the kind of horse that Marjolaine?
I have a war horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I
have a
fucking
Marjolaine
double
horse,
fucked
yeah.
up. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use this shitty fucking riding horse. Fuck you. I have a thing for it now, but I also will get art for like a basic horse for Walter's horse skin, quote unquote. If he, doesn't have this one, he can get a different one, and it'll look very similar. In fact, most of your replacement horses will look very similar, except for maybe
What?
Zach, who's a unique horse. Well, yeah, don't get him killed.
He shall never die.
I have to say, Walter was initially put off by Zach, but the longer he's around Zach, the more meat Zach consumes, the more he's like, you know what? I can fuck with a horse that's gonna
It's
kill
kinda
things
cool,
for me.
isn't it?
Like,
We were standoffish too until he started hunting and eating animals. It's like, oh, I don't have to feed him. Fucking
Yeah.
sick.
the exact second that the weird animal starts doing things on its own, but not to you, you're like, I'm okay with this.
This is fun. This is fun. So, were you staying on the road or just going as a crow flies from here?
I think we were gonna go follow the road and
Yeah, we don't have great
I think
survival.
this is
Yeah. I feel like it's probably safer in the long run to just be able to go straight north and then across, because it.
So about a 360-mile journey all in all. Oh, I forgot you can do that connected path. That's really good. A 360-mile journey all, and with that, that's going to take roughly 4 more days. So we'll just time skip those. You get there for rest, etc. All that. Just do 4 more long rests, or just mark off 4 rations, whichever's easier for you.
I had to poke the bear halfway through the trip so that the remaining 200 miles are just really awkward for everyone.
Though, actually, at this point, you'll have to make a check for the last 2. We'll say the last 2 days of travel. So 2 survival checks from whoever's helming that
I think,
navigation journey.
I probably don't have the best modifier for it, but I kind of feel like it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I almost feel like there was the assumption that because Walter was a soldier, he's used to orienteering. Whether or not he's
Mhm.
good at it is left up to.
Yeah, that remains to be seen because we didn't actually have to navigate out of the woods. Because the reason that came up is we were going to navigate straight from the river of the Megaduck to here through the wilderness, but they're like, no, let's just take the road because we need to go to town to resupply anyways. But yeah, as the navigation starts from here, the first day goes fine, and you do get you're part of the ways there. First day goes fun, or the first day of having to navigate. 1 more day of navigation. And this will end us up on the 20th. It's 420 as the last day of the festival.
I really hope it just becomes a running lucky streak that Walter is like, oh, Walter's really good at survival. He's not. He just gets really lucky.
He almost really wasn't if we would have if we didn't take the road that one time. But yeah, so in that case,
That's how it
you
was with
guys
Jay's
actually
previous
arrive
character.
pretty
With his-
early in the morning. And I'll just put you here.
Guzrak had like -3 dex and yet never rolled like under a 18 on his Thieves' Tools check. Like that's not mathematically possible, but he still did it every single time without fail.
Into the hilly, rocky cliff face, there is a ruined stone archway that seems to be like an entrance to a tunnel. And you see what you see.
Right, well. This looks actually promising. Type of place one might actually hide something like this.
Is the archway? Is the archway crumbling? Does it look like it's in good?
Yeah, it's all fallen in on itself, and you can see past it, but it's kind of you wouldn't be able to get through it without being some creative solution. It's like barring the passage for most people, even you, Cassandra, unless you really flex. But that's the whole point of the skill check. That's acrobatics, etc.
What about
Try
a
to
tiny
squeeze
owl?
through it. Tiny owl. Tiny owl could go through.
The animals are failures. But this one won't be sent to die just yet. Does the architecture look like anything in particular that Tillis might know?
History check. Or stonemason / carpenter's tool check.
Let's go with
Okay,
that.
so can I check this one as well? And then he rolled a 2. Can I check this one as well?
What's the size of this thing?
The size of this archway?
Ooh. Yeah.
It's 5 feet wide, 15 foot tall.
And how much? Sorry, go with Matt's check, and I'll use questions later.
Yeah, you got it. What you see here, this seems to be simple Imperium engineering. This doesn't look like this was built by it's not particularly old. It's old. It's really in disrepair. It looks like it's seen some damage more than anything. But the structure itself is definitely of Imperium origin. In fact, the construction looks very similar to that of the Arcaneum.
The Arcane is that the thing in the capital, or is that the thing in Columbria?
That was the big thing in the capital. You saw the blue
Big thing in the capital.
blob around, yeah.
It's actually promising.
The section of broken stone. Would it fit in a 5x5 cube? To put such a fine point on it.
5x5 cube. That would be a 5 foot area. There's a rubble. It's 5x5 foot, and then there's another. Like the rubble goes up about 10 feet. Really about 13 feet. There's only about 2 foot of clearance, like that you'd have to like squeeze through at the very top, and you'd have to climb all the way to the top to kind of navigate through that if you were going to squeeze through. So but yeah. So there's about 10 feet of rubble just piled up
Am I
in front of you.
intended to be
Okay.
able to see in there?
Yeah, you can see past this rubble.
Cool.
And you see that big. Well, you see that. Whatever you see.
Alright.
No rock is ever going to slow me down for this. And yeah,
Question:
she's
Am I
gonna
supposed to be able to? Sorry, didn't mean to cut
try
you
to
off.
do it. No, she's gonna. I think the other two know what's gonna happen. I mean, she's done weird contortion, like ligament bone breaking shit before to go through stuff, and this is potentially for a fragment. So she's leaving Zach behind. She's gonna walk up here, and she's like even tearing, like her already kind of raggedy and torn dress. She's like tearing it into more like a shorter skirt type thing, so she, and she's gonna try to whatever she has to do, rip herself through this thing.
If you were going to ask me if you could want to see past this thing that you can't see past through anymore, the answer is no, you weren't supposed to be able to. But it's not super relevant. I don't know. Walter was about to ask me something, and I looked over as he's like, and he said, "Am I supposed to?" And I started looking hard about things that you're not supposed to be able to.
No, I was gonna say, am I supposed to be able to move this horse? That was mine.
Oh, good. No,
Um,
yet, but I could fix that. I just haven't yet because I haven't made a copy
Okay.
of it.
I just wasn't sure if I was supposed to be able to or not.
Monetarily speaking, it's my horse.
Oh, horse.
as Tess starts crushing herself into whatever hole is available, Marshall
Acrobatics
would
check
like
for Tess. But go ahead, March.
will take some time to mend sections to get it out of the way.
Oh, passive perceptions as you kind of approach this, by the way. You see, or you smell, foul odors that are emitting from the dark ruined tunnel before you. And there are, as you get closer, signs of claw marks scratching the walls and the floors around the stonework of the ruined bit here.
I am going to use that bardic inspiration there, so it's a 26.
26 acrobatics? Yeah. Flawlessly, you just kind of contort your body and kind of crack through the 2 foot little gap. And you're on the other side. As you get here, you see this little spark of light. It floats and it drifts away.
Yeah, fuck everyone. She's a single-minded pursuit. She's
Walter's gonna give a sigh.
You
and
saw, you see the light kind of emitting from this door over here. Oh, as you step into this, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
go ahead, Walter.
Also, just to kind of describe what you see in here. Well, I'll describe what you see in here in a minute. Actually, what were you gonna say, Walter?
I was gonna say, as soon as she like kind of got through and then vanished from sight, he's gonna sigh very heavily and very much okay, the person who's paying for this has now left sight as the bodyguard / muscle I'm supposed to go to, and he's gonna start probably very much not as gracefully or effectively attempting to push himself down the collapsed bits to get in there.
Okay, so for you, since you don't have a climbing speed, I assume you're gonna have to climb up there to get to the hole access first, which would be athletics and then an acrobatics to squeeze through. Yeah, you walk into this thing and you feel a little uneasy presence of surrounding this altar in this kind of bluish glow area. But you
We
are
on it now.
Yeah, you climb up, no problem. But then make an acrobatics, try to squeeze through this gap.
Oof.
With advantage because you can like do all your dislocation of limbs and stuff. I will say because of this particular circumstance. Allow it. Oh wow. 16. Oof. Still a little bit of a tight fit. You feel something snap and you immediately fall through, falling down the distance. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. You impact onto the ground a little bit, but you get through.
Okay. I think there's definitely the first attempt he like starts to go through, and he just like gets stuck with his arm at a very weird angle, and he just goes, "Oh yeah, I'm not strong enough to do that anymore." And he starts to pull back, and it's just stuck in there like it's wedged, and he just looks at me, he's like,
Mhm.
"I want to call for help," and then like 127 hours, just like, boom. Like,
Breaks.
definitely feels it, definitely wasn't great, kind of echoes a little bit, and then very groaningly, he's like, I should have asked for money as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, to Sandra, just kind of describe what you see. You come into this room. The ceilings in here are about 15 foot high, so like all the ceilings in here are really tall. You see fountains on these walls are emitting walls of force. Looks like they're kind of closing off these two side passages. There is a altar, of course, that you're kind of standing on, or standing in front of, really. And in front of you, there's like a lectern, you can see right there, with a book that is open to a page. The book has pictures of scary things, including skulls and like and specifically it's open to a page that has a depiction of a skull with chains running through its eyes and kind of held almost like a necklace.
Would Tess know the religious symbol?
Make a religion check. Yeah, I'm just gonna message it to you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know who, but yeah, confirmation would be good.
I DM'd it to you.
But basically, a check. Can I or can I not metagame? So, great, I can.
Yeah, you got basic information about hit that deity too.
Walter came. This effect that I got like subjected to. Do I like have an idea what that is, or is it just an air of spookiness?
You just felt a weird presence when you walked in there, and then it was gone. Just vibes felt off.
Then she's gonna look back to Walter, point to that door. Oh, sorry, everyone. And say, whichever that was, it went that way, so I'm following it. But maybe keep this part to yourself. And she's gonna grab that book.
You notice a barrel.
Oh yes, a barrel. I'm going to ignore it entirely.
Barrel.
What kind
Barrel.
of barrel?
It's a barrel full of water.
Nah. Yeah, she's gonna grab the book, disregard the barrel. and
That's
go,
why
go to
it's
the door.
blue. Tutorial moment. It's a blue barrel
It's
because
white.
it's full of water. It's blue. For people who can see blue well. I don't remember how your colorblind thing works. I don't think it was blue. So I think
I'm
we're
not
good.
colorblind at
It's
all.
shades, so it's fun and unique and different every time.
Sick. Well,
that to me is like a frost white. So
Yeah, that barrel isn't blue. Sorry.
Yeah, that barrel is
What?
white.
that barrel is blue tinged, I'll tell you.
Have I,
mean,
had
I'm
3?
comparing it to this blue tinged aura next to it, and that seems to back up the claim that is in fact white.
No, it's blue tinged. Sure, for sure.
Have I had the 2
Blue
to
in
3
it.
minutes to repair the rebel?
What are you doing? Oh, mending. I see. Yeah. Enough mending could like get this kind of cleaned up, and you can kind of take piece, put it back, take piece, put it back to slowly clear it off. It takes a
Does
little
that
while,
mean
but yeah, you do.
anything? That lets you do mending in a 5-foot square? Is that
That's
a
right.
subclass thing?
Yeah.
So cool. Anything
So I can
happen when
do
I take that book?
10-foot square of mending in 2 minutes.
That's cool.
It is very cool.
That's cool. That's really cool. Oh,
Remember
that's
the line.
really neat. Yeah, that's super neat. Yeah, you like put it
As
back.
2 people fucking crush themselves through the stuff, I'm just like, zoof.
Yeah.
zoof, and I fix it.
The
Like,
2 people you would
Walter
expect
definitely, like,
are
got
able to
through-
crush themselves.
Walter got through it and definitely like looked back to see part of the hallway like repair itself, and he's just like, I didn't know she could do that. Okay. Lessons for next time. More loft. What went where?
Whatever it was went to this door, and then
Whatever
she said
what?
to keep this part to yourself when she grabbed the book. And
Yeah, he's not
Stuffed in her
mentioning
bag.
the book.
Cool.
Is
assuming my hands don't fall off.
is this weird? Is this okay to step in?
One way to find out.
I mean, you
No, no.
walked through it, so there's not a hint or anything.
Do I look okay to you?
There's a very long pause where he refuses to answer.
Tillies. It's a little tight squeeze for your mount,
That's fine.
but they can't like a large creature can squeeze through an area that a medium creature can fit through, so it can squeeze. It's just there will be interesting maneuverability as that goes on, and what that means.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do that. I don't care about its life. But also, smelling the smell, and I've done some potion stuff. I've been in some crazy labs. Can I get a smell check? The weird smells are? No, maybe.
I'm actually gonna make this lion not functionally smaller. Actually, I'm actually gonna make it functionally smaller, so you can like actually move it through these spaces without getting stuck on walls.
Okay.
There you go. Just for now,
I
but
mean, it could just
know
be-
that it's large.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because when you try to move it, it's gonna get stuck on walls otherwise.
Yeah, I get you.
What's the lighting in here, Oog?
The lighting is as you see it. I think. Do you have dark vision?
I have gloom vision. I
Oh.
don't know what it is.
I might have fucked it up. I might not have done this map the right way, where it'll actually be darkness. It might be. I think it's actually set on unrestricted vision range, so
Maybe
that
that's why the
means
barrel's white.
it's fully lit.
Oh,
I see in dim light as though it were
That's
bright
true.
and dark.
That's true. Maybe.
Maybe it's setting the object to be grayscale.
Mm,
It seems weird. That the whole
though
map
there are
isn't.
there are lights in here, so I don't know.
What I'm getting at is, would it be helpful to light a torch for me?
In this particular chamber, it is well enough lit. In this particular chamber, but I will tell you if that changes.
Well,
But theoretically,
the
you'll know
barrel-
because I think I do have the darkness set up properly. I think this is just. I guess that barrel just looks white to some people.
While the direwolf is pushing his way through, Walter's gonna kind of grit his teeth and walk into the zone.
Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
Not gonna be great. Oh, warlocks have proficiency. Maybe it won't be.
Yep.
Oh, it's not great.
It's not horrible.
You all see as Walter starts to walk and then starts to go towards you, and then casually is just intoxicated by this barrel, looks into it and just longingly opens the lid, sees the clear water, takes his water skin or a container of some sort and starts to fill the water skin with it. Then he goes over to this basin, starts pouring water into the basin, and then stops. And you once again, you didn't have control of yourself in that, but now you snap back and you're just holding this basin. You kind of have like a blackout moment where it's like, you don't remember that either. You're just now standing here over the basin, water filled with your water skin out, and just a little weird. A little weird.
He's gonna sniff his water skin.
Smells like water.
He's gonna taste a very like a droplet.
Yeah. Tastes like water.
Well, at least I don't have to throw that out. Okay.
Are these doors locked or anything?
This one, as you check it, it doesn't seem locked.
Okay, I don't want to just like start clicking door icons and fuck up something.
Is this the stuff
I
in
do
this
it-
room?
As you open the door, by the way, it just drifts
Yeah,
down.
Hey,
Well,
Just
Alright,
ignore
she's
me for the time
done.
being. She ran off. You guys do your thing.
I'll let you.
can
I'll
come
let
back
you.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah. You.
hey, you guys coming down the corridor. The light has some, what do you call it? Screws with your mind. I'd say get ready for it. It just made me pour water in a basin, but a general heads up for you.
Does anything in this room seem like? Do I recognize anything in this room? Is it just alien to me?
Make a religion check.
Sure.
If you're just vibe checking the room, like for any like iconography or understanding of any of the things, because you would have seen the symbols too of like it's all that's really in here is this book with the symbols of somebody.
The book's gone, right?
Oh, did you take the book? You took the book?
Yeah.
Oh, you took the book.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Keep this part
Then-
to yourself in front of Walter, and she took the book and put it in her bag. And then I said, assuming that her hands didn't fall off immediately.
Then...
was double checking if anything
Oh
happened,
yeah.
but yeah, she
No,
took the book.
nothing happened when we took the book. But
Basically, she's trying to.
then
do
there
that before
is
she goes from
no
marking
like iconography to like identify in this room. So the religion check, I shouldn't have called for it. Essentially. So is there anything else you might be looking for besides like religious iconography? Because there's no other iconography to identify that you can see.
But it's like there's this basin and a table.
It's like an
Right,
altar, a
just-
stone altar, but it's a crude stone altar that could be for anything.
Okay, so so it's not immediately recognizable as like this is a
Yeah. There's no
this is where you
symbology.
do- Okay, cool.
Yeah.
and
To you,
is
it probably
the-
looks like just a demon worshippers. Like, you've seen many cultists and demon worshippers have similar setups, and even worshippers of dark gods and other deities, and even like Ogrelon and primitive tribal settlements have altars like this. So it's crudely made. Whoever made this not as well as everything else in this building. That is something to note. Like the Arcanium style is not found on that altar. That altar is way more primitive.
Gotcha. Let me. Yeah, so this at first glance this would appear to be some sort of like this is definitely not a sanctioned worshipping.
Oh, I'm moving
area.
this, by the way, Matt, because it would have moved before you got down here. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
that's fine. And I just scooched my token up just so I could see if anyone else comes in the room. Like,
Yep.
ignore that. I'm just gonna be hanging out here.
Well, right now it's going to be a few rounds of time worth of things happening, so you'll probably actually be coming up, or not really, before then. So actually, let's kind of jump over to you in this second. You see what you see. There's not really much else to describe here. You see what you see.
What
Roll
is
initiative.
this?
Just roll an initiative check for me real quick. Just to see when you go in the. Actually, I am just gonna add to. I'm gonna actually hide these though, so because I don't want to ruin what these things are. But
Well, I
th-
assume
this
that was gonna happen imminently, anyways.
Yeah, this is gonna just determine the order of things going on within this round because that was important. Did that work? There we go. So to describe what you see here, just what you pointed at, this seems to be an altar of some sort, or some sort of, it's like a ziggurat structure, and on top of it there is a large, almost looks like a round alchemical like flask. It's like a big round alchemical flask filled with reddish liquid, almost to the brim, but not quite full. And it's corked at the top.
Is that
And
where the light thing went?
That light thing is, yeah, actually, I will unhide these. I just hid them so they wouldn't appear in the initiative. Yeah, and this thing's just floating around that now.
Okay. Oh, but it's still visible.
That being said, it is visible. And you do go first before any of this, so you come down the stairs, and you react immediately. You have a chance to do whatever.
Okay, great.
See
Tess
that
is
barrel?
pretty-
That's an
Yeah.
oil barrel. It's
Okay, I was
darker.
gonna say, is that oil? And then is this over here like acid or something?
That's a poisonous gas barrel.
Great.
Barrel time.
Measure that.
I'll just put it out there that Walter is trying to follow
Oh yeah.
Tissandra. As soon as like she leaves his vision, he tries to like be at least close to the same room she's in. So however many rounds, or like time
He
it
like
takes.
went down a tunnel and then went downstairs, I believe. I assume
Yeah.
out of sight.
He only
Downstairs.
makes just long enough to like give the warning and then tried to follow her because he feels like going off, at least in pairs of two, like there's someone to help you out if something goes bad. But being alone is a death sentence.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You were then here, but like, luckily she has initiative the first round, so she'll be able to act before. On the pretty much the first round of this. Up to you what you do, though, Sandra.
Yeah, I think as she like walks in, kind of sees the scene, I assume they react or something like
They
that.
turn and kind
Yeah.
of let out a shrill
Aware of her
hiss.
presence.
Yeah.
I think she just lets loose like a deep sigh. Now is not the time. I'm in a poor mood. And I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern on this, on all of them. It reaches all of them.
Oh, it made him do the save. Sick. I don't know when it started doing it, but they did all. Oh, I don't know how you did it. Whatever. I don't
Gotcha.
know who did it, but sick. Because it just made him do all our saving. It just tells me what they. Oh, that's so much better. So much better functionality. Holy shit.
It
Oh,
targeted
it's so
the wispy
good.
thing too, and I figure it's also in the area. So whatever, if that is a creature, it's also affected.
Yep. So this one succeeds. This one fails. Is hypnotized. Oh, everything but this one succeeds. So this one is hypnotized.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah. What's your DC?
16.
Yep, that is accurate. Just making sure it was
Holy crap.
accurately. Yep.
Okay, that's bad. I did not expect that from these at all. Well, fuck. That changes everything. What the fuck would she do then? That's like a bit of a trump card, and like this is a guarantee on these things. I think that yeah, she'll like turn back down the thing after not feeling it take hold on most of them, and she'll shout, "Walter, I have work for you."
If you want to come back up the stairs, you can just move out of that, move off the stair like physically, and then move
Yeah.
back onto the stair, and it should teleport you.
Then cool.
Oh,
she'll,
wait, Walter. Sorry, I was talking to Cassandra. You can move there too, but we're gonna kind of do that in an initiative. Probably move everyone else into initiative now too. Boop.
There you go.
Where's Divvies? There's
It
Divvies.
seems to be the same spot that I was. Yeah, so she'll come up here, and she'll say, there's some friends down there that have something that I want. I need you to go deal with them in your own creative ways. And she's giving him a bardic inspiration.
Understood. I think he already had his. I think as soon as she went out of sight and like down a tunnel, he already had like armor on, weapon out. Like, this isn't gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh, and there's like a sickly green like light show coming from down there. You probably hear like, you know, the initial hisses of the things from there, and then also a second layer of hissing and like incomprehensible whispering noises all coming from that room from her spell.
As he's about to walk past you, he just stops and very seriously, very quietly goes, "Is it snakes?"
No.
Alright, good.
Yeah, and that's it. That's my whole thing. I guess unless I can move past him, can I just like shimmy behind him?
You can move through it. You can move through allies as long as you don't end their space in them.
Yeah, she'll give you one of those good like hand on the shoulders and say, "Off you go," and get behind, like give him like a little shove.
This is probably really cramped quarters, so we're doing the like in like really small elevators where you're just kind of like
No,
shimmying
you go
around,
up,
yeah.
I'll go lower. You step here. I'll lay. You step across. Great.
I'll just stick to the
That's
ceiling because the ceiling goes up 15 feet. I'll just walk over and around. Just walk up the wall. But, okay. That's going to bring us to this.
Oh, cool effect. I wish I could see it.
I can't
How
wait
do you
to
see it then?
It can see like a very, very faint, like grayed out version of it, but I can see
Oh,
what you did,
question.
and I like it.
Can you see this one still, just through the walls and stuff?
Yeah.
And just curious, because I was playing with this is a new way of doing effects and stuff. You don't see any in the darkness to the north, do you?
No.
Good.
No,
So
the
it's only
things I
areas
can
you've
see
seen.
are the ones I've seen, yeah.
That's good.
And I'm assuming that because what you did was like affected my template or something. Maybe that's why I can see it, but it's super dark. So I'll get a better look when I go back in.
Yeah. But this creature's gonna do a thing. This creature gonna do a thing. Dillies, your turn. You hear some commotion going up down the hall of like Sandra talking with Walter in toned
Oh, boy.
tones.
Let's walk in, and I can't.
Whoa.
Sick.
You
Well,
gotta want
since it's a large creature, does that automatically put me in the bubble?
Yep, wisdom saving throw.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Okay. Well, they can go have fun. And Tillis is gonna look at Marjolaine and be like,
What about that barrel?
"Isn't that what you're hired to go take care of?"
Suppose in a sense.
Okay. Well, have fun. And then I would like to look at some of the symbols on here.
Oh, the only symbols that were on display were on the book, and the book was taken.
Okay. Well,
That was only
okay,
iconography.
I asked this earlier, and I don't know if you just didn't hear me, but you talked about some thick smells coming through here. I've worked in alchemy. Can I do any sort of check to see if I know what those smells are?
I wager you're trying to do like an alchemist tools check with this.
I guess I don't have that, but yeah. something like
Oh, well, okay. Then
that. I'm
if
just
not,
talking
if
about my
if
background, I don't know.
no. I was just saying I thought you were asking for that because I thought what you're getting at.
Nope.
But if not, it's just perception check. That's all I'm saying. I thought you were trying to do a tool check thing because we talked about it before. That's all I was thinking. But
We're rolling
sniffing.
rocks.
And trying to like identify where you might have smelled this before. It reminds you of the smell that kind of emerged from the doppelganger's cave.
Okay. Do those claws kind of seem doppelgangery?
From what you saw, the scratches of the doppelgangers were more nail-like, and these are more talon-like.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I'll just stop. I'm just kind of looking at things.
Yeah. It's gonna bring us to Marjolin.
I'm hearing the commotion, and with Philly's good point of I don't remember being paid, but I suppose this is what I agreed to. I'm just gonna use my inspiration for the wisdom check as I run through the.
Yeah, make that wisdom save throw with advantage. You start to walk past, but you can't stop. You feel yourself stop here, and then your vision goes blank. And Tillis, what you see is Marjolin turns to the basin full of water and just dives head down, just under the water, submerged, and she just stays there.
Oh, that's a big basin.
An unreasonable amount of time.
And a lot of
I guess
water in a
it's only
watershed.
3 seconds.
That's all right now. It's only been theoretically like 6 seconds. Marjolin, the rest of your some time's gonna be spent doing that for this stage of things. So you'll be able to make another save at the end of your next turn.
All right.
All right.
Spook.
That
At the end of
one's
her next turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. That one's gonna do that. Walter, it's your turn.
Cool. So it was. Oh, there we go. I feel like I only see one enemy in here.
You do.
Oh, okay. Is that bad perception, or is there only one in here?
What you see is what you see.
All right. It's a big. What is that? Is that a spider, or is that like?
This
human
does
spider?
look like does just kind of, now that two people live here, you do see amongst like webbed corpses, webbed bodies, and other webs and skulls and discard, kind of all webbed around this strange altar with this blood vial on it, are these bluish, whitish spiders that have this spider specifically, because it's only this one.
Okay.
Looks like
So-
this.
I have one question about WCX as well. Oh, okay. Oh. Ash knows what these things are.
Mhm.
Not a fan. Okay. So,
Jess did say there's. What did she say? She did. I know she said plural because it would have made sense to say singular. So she implied that.
she just said there's work for you. She didn't say anything else.
No, she said there's some people or things in there that have something I want.
Okay. So he knows there are plural.
Yeah.
Alright. So question about WCX with finisher. What does incapacitated mean for WCX? Do they drop prone incapacitated, or
Let's say the creature becomes charmed while their incapacity has a speed of 0. They're not prone.
okay, so finisher wouldn't work on
Yeah, when you damage a prone creature, you'd have to knock it prone first, which I think actually. Oh, this is a good chance for me to use my new thing here. I think.
Incapacitated makes them automatically fail strength and dex checks. So
I
you
think
can
it
knock them prone uncontested.
does. Incapacitated. Well, incapacitated can't take actions or reactions, so they can't. No, it doesn't actually affect. Checks. Kind of funny. So you would still have to wrestle him.
Alright, yeah, he's just gonna keep his battle axe out then, not his great axe. I was just trying to understand how that worked. So
Yeah, no worries.
I think I have moved 15 feet by now.
Seems like finisher should apply to incapacitated, but maybe that's super broken and I'm not thinking about it. Maybe Fungus did that for a reason. I would
thankfully,
actually.
incapacitated doesn't really seem to do. To me, it seems like incapacitated should be way
just
more
stunned.
vulnerable than like even paralyzed. Paralyzed, they're
Yeah,
just like
'cause you're,
aware
like,
of what's going on around them.
right?
Incapacitated is like almost the same as unconscious.
Right.
Yeah, I would actually message Fungus about that just get his thoughts on like hey, just curious,
Yeah.
is there any reason finisher doesn't apply to like incapacitated creatures? Because if there's some reason, I'd love to hear it. But for now, we'll run it as written and just be like it doesn't.
I mean,
but
hypothetically, a good option for incapacitated would be wind up. Wind up would be very strong.
Yeah, but it'd be very strong against everything else.
Sure, but you have to either make sure that they're going to stay within your movement, or you have to.
Yeah, I see that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
I
really good.
don't have wind up on these weapons, right? Or is that an option anyone can take?
No.
No, it's a thing to specific
Yeah, no,
weapons, like
weapons.
flails
Yeah,
and
that's
some like
fine.
big polearms.
Okay, so I think that's the end of my movement there, right? Down the stairs, or have I
Yep.
gone too far? All right. So Walter's going to stretch out with one hand and hex the one spider he can see.
Mhm.
And then he is going to, holding his axe, because he knows nobody can see him, particularly because he knows Marceline can't see him. He's just gonna say, "Let the void take them," and he's gonna slash twice in the air with the axe and send out these like ripples of like decaying waves with his eldritch blast.
Gotcha. That's for sex. It's like slashes that kind of echo throughout the from the weapon.
Beam.
Yeah.
I've played Legend of Zelda.
Sure.
I know a sword beam when I see one.
I've seen a sword.
Alright, you need
But
your
now it's
go.
not nice.
It's beam.
Just ignore the attack roll for hex because it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then I will grab my eldritch blast. Where's my spell? There it is. But didn't that? Didn't that work? There we go.
Aha.
Is that it?
It does. I think if you roll the damage, it'll automatically, it'll automatically consider it. But it does, you know.
You forgot to add. your
It's
hex
weird to
on
ask for damage either way. True. Just roll an extra d6 for hex damage real quick for me, and I'll apply that too.
Oh, and it didn't add my agonizing blast.
You might just have to go
there.
into the
Yeah, you
settings.
probably
of
have to
your
go and
blast.
manually add it.
Oh wait, do I actually have agonizing blast? I might not have taken that. Hold on. It's been a minute since I made a warlock that wouldn't have had that. No, I did not. I took Grasp of Hadar. Okay, so that's fine. There's my hex coming in.
Gotcha. Apply a little bit of damage there.
Is
And
there a way to have it work where it does the 2 blasts? Because now I just have to cast it again, I guess. Because at 5th level, I can,
Yeah.
I guess,
You
2.
gotta click attack again,
yeah.
Alright.
and then add your hex to the. Whenever you can rolling your damage, there's like a additional
Yeah.
bonuses or whatever. Add it in there.
There we go.
Boom.
Dope. There it
Oh,
is.
big damage. Yeah, with that second one. Blast, and it looks badly injured standing there in its state. Hypnotic pattern, when it
Yeah,
takes
it's gone.
damage, it needs to remake a save, right?
No,
or it
it's
just
done.
ends.
And I
Oh,
lose my
okay.
concentration because it's the only creature affected by it. So
I'm
It's
also
just
going
gone.
to grab it towards me using Grasp of Hadar, so I'm going to pull it 10 feet towards me. And what
Gotcha.
this looks like is, as the second slash hits it, this decaying wave suddenly solidifies as chains around it, like POW chains, and just like drags it towards me.
sick.
Cool. All right. How far does it drag towards you?
10 feet.
5, 10. As you pull it closer, you see as its legs are being dragged across the battlefield and dragged across these webs, as its legs hit the webs, you see the webs start to tear, but then when the webs flutter and fly in the air, the webs aren't like normal spider webs. They kind of float a little bit and they have this like ethereal wave about them and they kind of dissipate. It's odd. Cassandra, 'tis your turn.
Yeah, she can definitely feel her spell up, so she knows he hit that one. She's like, what in the world would possess him to do that? And it's just the one. How high is the ceilings in here?
15 feet.
Great. I'm gonna scale up onto the ceiling.
The ceilings are all webbed, and all the walls and the ceilings are webbed. Only the parts on the floor that you see with webs are webbed, but anything that is webbed is difficult terrain.
That's fine. So I think I can get 10 feet up, and I'll head. Sorry, 10 feet up, and I'll head 10 feet over it. So like there, but like up on the wall. And I guess I will use a. Yeah, I'll use a bonus action to poison up my thing. Cause I'm sure poison's fine. Oh wait, this is an oil barrel, right?
Oil barrel, correct.
Fuck it. Yeah, I haven't made a vow yet. I'm gonna use my thing to fucking set my arrow on fire.
Oh.
Here we go. Do that. And I'm gonna choose fire, but it's totally like green fire because it's cool. And yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna shoot the barrel with my flaming bow. Green flame arrow.
So what happens is, as we'll make a roll to hit first. Bum, bum, bum. So I think I can actually do this pretty cool, like, so, as you shoot the barrel, which I'm realizing 30 feet might be a bit wide, but you...
Oh, sweet Jesus, okay.
But oil spills out, probably a little too wide on 30 feet. Looking at that, we're probably gonna
radius, but like a
maybe
30-foot diameter.
Yeah, but let's change that to a 15-foot radius for that to make that a little less big, because looking at that is a little silly. So more like that. Yeah, it's much better.
It's like when they do like modern chase sequences in like, fantasy comedy movies. They have the like oil barrels explode.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
So
I thought it was oil. It's natural gas.
Barrel explodes and unleashes like this caustic or flaming hot magma-like grease that's all over the ground now. That's whoosh, in flames. That is now burning everything in the area. And if a creature starts its turn there or moves into the flaming grease for the first time, you must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, which I didn't put a DC on. Another failure of my design. Hang on. Or take 2d6 fire damage half on a success. That's how that works if you run into the flaming grease. Also, even while it's flaming, the grease is considered rough terrain. So that's now extra difficult terrain, which is... no, that burns away the webs. Burns away the webs, so it's just normal rough terrain.
Did the green flaming oil that exploded and splashed everywhere, did it seem to land on anything else in there?
Did it seem to land on...
Any other spiders in the area? Anything get splashed?
No.
Okay. That was incredibly underwhelming. Then that's it.
I bet if Walter's like stubble is burning and he just like scrapes it away.
You know?
Just a little bit of like green napalm. It's the face.
Yes. Now it is time for this creature's turn. Just confirming something here because that seems odd. No, yeah. Like this, like my sheet said this creature had a 0 like movement speed, and I was like, that can't be right. And it didn't list it as having a fly speed, but the actual sheet on D&D Beyond has it listed as a fly speed. I was like, there's no way this thing just can't move. How does it function? But no, it does. It can move.
That would be sus.
That would be sus. That would be. That's why I stopped there. I was like, wait a minute. This thing move? Yeah, but no, it can. Anyways, you see, a whoosh, wave of bluish energy appears next to you as this spider suddenly appears, sticking next to the wall, just immediately next to you, Cassandra. And it is going to go ahead and take a attack at you.
Does this attack do elemental damage? I need to know now, I guess.
It does poison damage, but it only does poison damage sometimes. And also, odd how it's gonna do this.
The reaction.
Oh yeah, here we go. I know what to do. Just make a Constitution saving throw for me as the bite. Are you immune to poison? Being a Dampier, is that something?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Then make a
That's for frogs.
con save. That's for frogs. Only frogs. And dwarfs.
Only bully bug.
18. You're good. So instead, you don't take that much damage. You only take this much damage. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, take 4 points of damage, and I apply it to you.
I think as it like bites and tries to poison her, she has like a little inner monologue of like, oh, right, these things are supposed to be venomous. I'll show you.
So,
I'll show you toxic.
I'm about to get so toxic.
I'll show you toxic behavior, you fuck.
Here comes Tilius' turn.
Okay.
Is he affected by the napalm stuff or no?
No, he's above. He's up on the wall with you.
Oh, okay.
Do I think
Napalm's
walking,
only sticking to the ground.
do I think walking back in
Sorry.
will make me have to save again against water?
You don't know.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, I do.
Nothing happens. You don't
Okay,
feel any
great.
convulsion.
And I see Marjolaine like struggling.
Submerged,
with
head
it.
in the water.
Yeah, I think Tillis is gonna reach out with his evil spooky hand, and he's thinking about what the ring can do and what it seems like he might have the opportunity to do here. But instead, he pulls away, and I think I'll just shape the water out of the barrel instead.
Gotcha. So as the almost like water bended out of the basin, it lifts, and she is suddenly there, face down, and you hear her take a deep breath as it and cough compulsively as like water just spews out. It seems like she was just inhaling water, just breathing it in.
Yeah, he's just gonna hold it in the air and be like, "There's no time to clean your hands."
With that,
Always been
Marjolaine,
there.
you're snapped out of it actually, and you look back up and see Tillis there, like water bending the water like around, just kind of like doing what he is with it.
Just drenched, just like breathing heavily, staring at him.
Yeah, there was like remember there was a breakage consciousness. So like you walk past this, consciousness went blank, and then you just woke up, just face down in a basin, with no water, with like floating water above it. It's weird. It's kind of reverse of last night's situation actually, with like them standing above you with water. Now you standing above him with water. Now he's standing above you. Weird.
And then I think Tillis will send his owl down to just go check on what's happening. So he's got 60 feet of fly. Okay, go downstairs. Boom. Look at that. Oh, that's kind of freaky. Well, Tillis isn't going down there. So I'm gonna go here and kind of like perceive at this. That might be an action. Never mind. Okay, it might be done. Okay.
You haven't used your interact action if you were going to do something that's appropriate to that. If you were just doing what you were doing.
Perceive first, then before just opening it.
Okay.
All right.
I could say your interact action could just be to like quickly scan the door for anything. Why not?
Sure.
That's what I make an interact action like a persuasion check, a perception check, like quick scan check. I thought, yeah, shouldn't take your whole action. So you can make a quick perception check on the door.
Yeah, okay.
You won't be able to interact with it this turn, of course, but
What's it for?
it's a door.
Oh shit! You don't say. Okay. Well, I've advanced with that knowledge.
Mhm.
He turns back to Marjolaine and goes, "It's a door." Okay, that's
See,
Fucking genius.
I see what door I sees in you.
I thought it was a wallaby.
And then until I was like, and this is a barrel. And like next to him, like to the.
You're positive it's not a Doberman?
Oh no, there's more water in the barrel. Quick, push it over.
Spills out. But it's Marjolaine's turn there. As you have your wits about you again, what are you doing?
I'm just confusedly keep walking towards the door. Just look back at Tilly's for a moment and head through. I got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Do I hear what's going on down these stairs?
You hear the sound of like crackling flame from grease being caught on fire.
Okay, great.
And you see the lights from like the fire as well, like the flickering flame, like light coming up the staircase.
Gotcha. Okay, so Marjolaine will dash. Zoop, and just into the fucking hellscape.
There was a fucking oil explosion down here, so.
And I'll move a little bit more. The shield out, war club in hand.
And I'm up on the wall, so like you can go under me if you want to.
Oh, okay, great. Alright, how you're 10 feet up. No, I'm okay with where I am. And my bonus action. I will parle en célestial pour dire des très bons mots de bataille, and the three of us get
What I said you do.
Gibberish.
Same fucking thing.
and the three of us get bonus or not bonus, fucking advantage on the next attack or ability check.
Very nice. Is that your turn there, Marjolaine?
That is my turn. Sorry.
No worries. That brings us to this phase spider who starts his turn here. He needs to make his dexterity saving throw. What did I set the DC to? Spur of the moment decision. Big balls on me of setting every base oil barrel as DC 15 to dodge, but there we go. That's what it is. I did it for now. I'll think about it later, what that means. I might adjust it, but for now, it's 15. And because of that, he fails. And he is going to take that. Oh, since it's your thing, Xander, you might as well roll a 2d6. Why don't you roll the 2d6 damage for the fire damage there? And with that, this spider is engulfed in flames and dies as it shrivels up into a little husk.
That's some level of satisfaction there. Had I just shot him with the bow, would have killed him 3 times over.
But it's cool now. There's fire
Yes,
on the field.
it is
That's
cool,
pretty
except-
sick.
This is also relevant. They're all just gonna be on the walls of the ceilings.
The fire barrel has done nothing but make it
It
harder.
has
for,
literally done nothing but just trap us. Never use the barrels ever again.
That's not the moral of barrels. The moral is there's sometimes they help, sometimes you gotta consider the usage of barrels. The barrels are truly the future of barrel kind.
Just given that we're level 5 and that we're only going to scale more, assuming barrels don't, barrels will either very, very quickly lose all relevance, or there'll have to be some way to scale them up, or you might just need to bump them, frankly.
Or they get
No, it
hit
works
in
both ways.
or they get hit in like AoEs or get hit in like crossfire or with a multi-attack, an extra attack kind of thing. And of
Always
course,
find a
like
bigger
that.
stack of bigger bag of holding and just start loading up barrels and barrels.
and just so you know, that's the grease barrel. What the fire barrel does is it does like 8d6 of fire damage when it explodes. So it's like a fireball going off. So there is a better explosion-y barrel. That's the barrel that just has a counter effect of like, for example, the water barrel. There's similar rules if you electrify the water. It has a similar, and actually I think it gets stun, which is pretty good. So each of the barrels has like a condition and stuff that it can do too. And like this one counts as rough terrain
Just our
and an
first
AoE
one
fire
that we did is
damage.
kind of
Well,
the
I
least.
think this one's pretty useful. It's grease plus flaming plus, but for this particular circumstance,
Is it grease? Does it knock him prone?
when it's grease, but when it's fire, it doesn't. It's just rough terrain. But when it's grease and it's just not on fire, it does make them slip and slide on it.
Noted.
Yeah, and then there's of course the wild magic barrels, which are fun, and there's gas barrels. But yeah, each of the barrels are. I think they scale well, actually. But they have their usages. Like this one's more usage for its niche abilities. Actually, most of them are, except for of course the fire one, which blows up and does a shit ton of damage. But this feller, actually, it's tricky. No, yeah, he could do that. Cool.
Hey, so let me ask, and like I know, this is metagaming, but is this combat like a lot? Is there a lot more to this combat? Because I do have to get going. It's 11.
Sure, it's 11:05.
Maybe just get through the round. Start at the top of round 3.
Yeah, which is just this last thing here. Yeah, we'll do that, because that's totally fine. It's not much longer, but there's also no real reason to like extend it to the end of this combat, because we either end now or end at the end of this combat, and the end of this combat just has a lot more questions to be asked and like investigations to had. So just do this bite here for now. Oh, that being said, sometimes if we ever do go late, I should say, do feel free to like pop out if you ever need to pop out. Sometimes like we'll go on late, and if you ever need to go, never feel bad about hey, it's late, I gotta go, especially if it's after our time. Totally fine to do that if it's ever relevant. But that being said, that bite misses you, and that's his turn. But we'll start next week, top of the round 3 here. Actually pause that. Pause. Perfect. Back at the top with the rest of the spidery bits here and the rest of the exploration of whatever this place is. Who knows? It's a mystery.
It's crazy.
Cha.
No way.
But yeah, I'm gonna stick around here a little bit for pregame. But if you have to go, have a good rest of your night. But now I can just talk about barrels and like the different barrel designs and like how I think they are useful and different. Just to give you some